So if you got a left tear, you move your cams left. You got a right tear, you move your cams right. Just try it and see what happens.
That's what's fun about it.
That's what's good about bows is tinkering.
Yeah, it's fun.
You know what I mean?
And it doesn't cost anything to really tinker. I mean, yeah, if you buy accessories.
I mean, you got to buy all the shit.
Cost you
but-
time.
Yeah,
That's my
just
wife
time.
and kids.
when I tinker, every time I press that trigger, it costs me a lot of money.
Press.
That's why archery's better than rifle hunting.
Yeah, it's just
You can shoot how many arrows?
recyclable.
Recyclable. Yeah, I like that part
That's
of it.
it. Whereas your rifle shooter, you're into it. How much do you figure you're into it one round?
Frick. I mean, gotta be at least a couple bucks.
Got to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Couple
Got to be
bucks a
like
shot.
$5.
Yeah, you think of, I'll do some math here.
What do you think the cheap end would be? Like $2? I mean, even if it's $2, that's $2 a round.
I know.
Dude, how can you afford to shoot a rifle?
Whereas with archery, like what you're going to be all in and done, you're going to be 300 for a dozen arrows, 350 for the elites.
Yeah, the elite of the elite.
Yeah,
if you
you're
go
going to
out,
be 250.
yeah.
But
So-
you figure you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of shots out of those.
At
So
least.
Here's quick math to get. All right, so powder, it's like $350 for 5 pound jugs? 8 pound jugs right now, $350. Yeah, what'd you pay for your?
I'm kind of embarrassed. With shipping and everything, it was $425.
Yeah, for 8 pounds of H1000.
That's 90 shots a pound
Hold on, I need to relay this because I can't hear you. $425
with hazmat and shipping.
with hazmat and shipping for how much?
8 pounds.
For 8 pounds.
I get about 90 rounds
So you get 90 rounds per pound,
and I bought 8 pounds.
and you bought 8 pounds for $425.
Yes. Plus my
That's just powder. That doesn't include the bullet or
Nothing else.
$80 for a box of 100 to 245 grain bullets. What did I pay for primers? Primers were out.
Primers are outrageous, yeah. So that's the thing. Like, you got primers and you got powder and you got bullets.
And cases.
You can reload those. Like, I'm up to like seven firings on some of them, but they're getting kind of
seven firings per case.
per case, yeah. But like my bullets right there, I just calculated my price is $1 per shot on just on the bullet, just on the
That's
projectile.
honestly cheaper than I thought.
On
Yeah,
the,
and then they got powder.
wait, on the bullet?
Just
on
the bullet itself.
Just the bullet
Just
itself.
the bullet
On it.
itself.
Okay.
So
Not
primer,
including
you're another.
primer and not including powder.
What do you think you're into at one round?
Got to be $5.
It's got to be probably $5, yeah,
Per round.
maybe.
It's $100 a day every time you go to the range.
How much do you think you spend in rounds in a year? Like how much do you shoot? I want to
wanna
know.
know. I don't
I
wanna
do
know.
want to know
I don't
because
wanna
I'm just
know.
trying to gauge this.
But like, here's the thing too, though. Like
$1,000?
we're talking about equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like the equipment side's expensive. That's where I think it's actually more. Like everyone always gets into it because you think it's cheaper, like to reload or do this, but it's not. You just start diving down rabbit holes.
It's Adam.
It's not cheaper. You don't think to reload? your
No,
own?
because it would be if you just did it basic. But once you start getting into it, like you want an annealer, you want, a Henderson trimmer. Like I just literally bought a Henderson precision trimmer to like trim my brass.
made,
like a lot
made in
easier.
Henderson, Nevada.
just like make every year I try to buy something new to like make my process more refined, try to see if I can get accuracy gains. And like we're talking about archery, that's the same thing I did back in the day. You start with what? Like an arrow saw.
Yeah.
And then you maybe get a bow press later. And then maybe you
Squaring
start doing,
device. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you start just adding these things where it's like, really, is it really cheaper? Because now look at like $3,000 worth of equipment you got sitting there, plus all the time, plus all the components, plus everything else.
Yeah, but I can do it in perpetuity, which is why you do it too. I'm sure
exactly.
for reloading.
For future stuff. And it can use for any bow you get, you can use the same tuning stuff.
Sure.
I can switch rifles. Yeah, I have to buy slightly different components, but a lot of those stuff I can redo across.
I want to know how much
cartridges.
you spend in a year in rounds.
It's got to be.
I'll do some calculations.
be
Is
a
it
lot.
$5,000?
It could be.
Is
I
that
gotta
how
shoot
often
a
do you
lot.
shoot? Yeah, you shoot once a week at
Yeah,
least.
shoot once a week.
And
Yeah.
how many rounds when you go to practice?
Sometimes I only go and maybe shoot 5.
5
Maybe,
rounds.
maybe I'll shoot 10, 15 if I'm doing a lot of long range stuff.
That's a $25 morning, 5 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't go and shoot a ton when I go out because I'm there for a purpose. Like I'm there just to do long range testing, or I'm there to do 100-yard zero testing, or I'm there to do extreme spread testing, or I'm there to,
How do you get practice though? Like how do you? I mean, do you feel like you? Do you feel like you're getting enough rounds downrange to feel?
But that's the thing too, though. I shoot big 30 cals, and so I don't want to burn out barrels because I can always get new barrels. But like, I'm thinking about getting a training rifle this year, like a 22 and like 22 long rifle, and just like literally soup it up as a training rifle. If I can get 22 long rifle and be able to shoot 100 yards, start manipulating, shooting in winds, that affects it. Yeah, it's not going to be the same as shooting a 30 cal.
But it's practice.
It's just practice.
Yeah.
Repetition, pressing the trigger, having my hand on it correctly, breathing correctly, getting in a gun really quickly and shooting. It's like I want to get a practice gun.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
I'm surprised you don't have a practice gun.
I know,
actually.
I agree.
That's kind of why I got the 6.8 Western as like a practice one, and I got all my reloading components. I got powder for it. I got a bunch of primers. I got everything I need. I got brass and I got projectiles, but I just haven't started reloading for the 6.8. Yeah, but that was going to be my practice one.
Gotcha.
But I think a 22 would be kind of fun. Soup up a 22.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Just go planking.
With a suppressor.
What?
Right, Cody?
I just ordered all my stuff. I ordered a 22
Suppressor? I have a 22 suppressor for my son.
suppressor, subsonics, new
Yep.
scope.
That's exactly what I have for
You
my
guys would
son.
be surprised over the weekend because I was, hunting with my family. I got back and I got tagged. Giannis from Meat Eater. He did a post about talking about his new gun, and so many people commented like, Brady should look at this because he was bragging up on his suppressor.
Yeah.
So many people
And he had
called
the
me out.
suppressor cover too.
Yeah. Suppressor cover.
Called you out for not having a suppressor.
He's like,
not
surprised
going
Brady
around.
doesn't use a suppressor. Brady should listen to Giannis and start hunt with a suppressor.
Brady should listen to Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis is
Come on,
dead.
Brady.
Get with the program, Brady.
I know, right?
So you got one on order?
No.
You're not even gonna like scratch the itch, just to tinker with it, just to be like, oh, I wonder. No,
You were out hunting when we had the conversation about suppressor
I
and no
listened.
suppressor.
You listened to it?
yeah, I
Okay,
listened
good.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave her a list on the way home. Yeah, we're all back. We've been out. Everybody's been out. Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving?
I did.
Just
Yeah.
stick around. You went to.
I was hunting.
You
You
had,
almost did it again, Trail.
I know I did.
you had the best Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You were hunting on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep. So here's the thing in my life, way back in the day, we obviously did some family Thanksgiving, but for the most part, my dad was gone a lot on Thanksgiving because he was always hunting Western states. Like he was just this whitetail thing.
Did your mom hate that growing up?
I don't know. We always celebrated at different times, kind of like it wasn't actually on Thanksgiving. But and so now I've set this precedence in my life where I literally can't remember the last time I was actually home and had a real Thanksgiving because I've always been hunting on Thanksgiving. Like every time I've been here to go hunt 10 years, like I've never been here for Thanksgiving in 10 years.
That's true.
Even before that, it was a trend too. It's like, I just don't want to, now it's set in my life where I'm just gone Thanksgiving. I'll find a way to go on a hunt, duck hunting, whatever it needs to be. I'll go hunting.
Did you go home and then have the big Thanksgiving? Do you guys normally do that?
No, this time we didn't. No, but I did go home to see my brother's new little baby.
No
Every time
turkey,
I'm
no
before.
stuffing,
Nope, didn't have any of it.
no cranberry sauce.
Nope. We had mule deer jerky.
Oh, nice.
We had a lot of mule deer jerky. Yeah, we hunted on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, good hunt.
Good hunt. Yeah, we didn't kill on Thanksgiving. Usually we kill one buck on Thanksgiving, but my brother killed his buck the day before, and I killed mine the day before that. So my youngest brother got his first ever mule deer. Super pumped on that. Got a solid buck. We had to stop through a check station. Talked to a bunch of game wardens. I was just BSing about deer numbers and what do they think deer numbers are about, and they said drought, CWD. They did say some management stuff. They did throw that out there. And then we got to talking. They're like, hey, we need to check out the rack because they're looking at the tags, looking at the meat. So we took him into the trailer, showed him my brother's buck. He's like, that is the biggest deer we've probably seen in for this dude running the check station for the last 3 weeks. It's the biggest deer they've seen come through there.
Damn.
Because he's like, most people are bringing in 4 horns and 3 points. That's just that's what it is now in some of these states.
Mule deer Jesus.
They feel like numbers are down generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, numbers are down.
And then
So the guys are seeing a lot, but he's like, we're having more elk getting brought through these check stations than we are deer, mule deer.
well, that's not
And I
good.
was like, what's the outlook? And he's like, I don't know. We just need, he's like, I think we're missing an age class. I think we're really missing an age class or maybe 2 age classes because of the drought and then winter kill and just, CWD is more prevalent.
Those are rough years. You get a hard winter and then you get drought and then a hard winter. You get those compounding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely wipe out.
You're just knocking them
an
down.
age
I feel so
class.
bad for deer. That's why when we're out there, gosh, there's just not a lot of deer numbers. It's fun, hunting hard to find a big deer, and then it feels kind of cool when you do kill it. But then also I feel bad at the same time. We just killed, we killed the 2 biggest deer we saw the entire time. I don't know. It sits with me really.
There'll be more.
Oh, there'll always be more. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. You always hope.
Do you stay at home for Thanksgiving?
I did, yeah. Which my family usually travels. I'm the exact opposite of
You
Brady.
guys normally go north, right?
Well, yeah, we usually go to the ranch or something like that. But like, I can't remember a Thanksgiving that I wasn't just stuck not hunting.
Yeah, I think you remember saying something
like the
like that
exact
back in the
opposite
day.
of Brady. So there's pros and cons to both. I'm obviously jealous of not hunting over Thanksgiving like Brady, but good family time. But we stayed here this year just because of the new
Yeah, new babe.
Yeah, so
New babe's good.
new wave's good, man.
Growing.
It's growing, eating like crazy. That's all he does. That's literally all he does. He's a good baby, super easily consolable, not a bad baby by any means. Just eats constantly, like nonstop. It's crazy.
Do you just go home from work and hold him?
Yeah.
To sit down? That's the
Yeah.
best.
But then I get yelled at by my 4-year-old.
Oh, really?
Dad.
Play with me.
Dad, Hot Wheels. I'm like, trying to help your mom, buddy. Hold on.
Yeah.
Has he had any kind of adjustment?
He's
Turtle?
done really good, honestly. He's done amazing. His only adjustment is like not getting what he wants at all times from me.
Yeah.
So like the whole come home, play Hot Wheels, play all this stuff. It's like, I need to help your mom for an hour and then I'll go.
A little more competition
Yeah,
for attention.
exactly. But he like hasn't been a shithead about it at all.
No temper tantrum.
none. Like he's been really good.
That's good.
What about you?
Yeah, I went to my sister's place. She lives in kind of centrally. So my brother lives in Ogden. I got a brother in Wyoming, and then my mom and dad live in Logan, and then we're in southern Utah. So we went up, all got together, and just did dinner, and so we just did up and back. But yeah, I got back from my Nevada deer hunt, I think the day before, I think. So we pretty much just turned and burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got home about 2:30, maybe 2:30 in the morning, and just threw the buck and the meat, hung it up from the back porch because it's been freezing in Cedar. I mean, it's been 20 degrees and less at night. So yeah, just hung that from the back porch, and then we just jumped in the car and then went north and did Thanksgiving up there. It was good. Yeah, just up and back. Lots of wind chill time the last few weeks.
I bet.
Yeah, I think I was back and forth to Salt Lake. So that hunt I was on was like northern Nevada. So I drove home, got home. Next day, Thanksgiving, did Thanksgiving up and back. And then I was home the next day, but the day after that, my kid had a game in Salt Lake. So got off work, drove to Salt Lake, went to that game, watched it, then drove back. So it was like 3 times back and forth between Salt Lake and like 3 days.
A lot of miles.
It's so many miles. Yeah, I'm
It's a lot of miles.
yeah, there was a stretch there. I was like, man, I think I've listened to every podcast available to me at this point. That's just the entire library of podcasts. I'd listened to it also.
I can't wait to hear about your buck.
Man,
And your hunt in
do you want to hear
general.
about it real quick?
Should we do like proper hunt
Recaps? We can.
I think we need to do proper recap.
We've been asked a lot about like
I can
proper
give you the
recaps.
cliff notes if you want.
Quick cliff notes.
Quick, yeah.
Like 700 plus miles on the truck, roads and trails everywhere. So every ridge has got a road, every drainage, it's got a road in it. Just drove and just completely glassed my ass off. Found a buck that I wanted to hunt. Screwed that up, and we can talk about that. I can go deeper in on that. And then looked at a lot of bucks. I mean, tons and tons of deer rutting. Mule deer rut was definitely on. Like I was seeing 2-3 points just full on. I have some footage of like, that like
Full-blown rut,
epic,
yeah.
like fight to the death. There was one fight I was watching. I was like, dude, I think one of these is legit going to kill the other one. Like, I mean, getting after it, which is fun to watch, but just, small bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then last day, driving back to camp, I had looked out my passenger side window. 2 does come up out of a wash, look up on the hill, see a group of 7 deer. One of them's a nice buck, which I'd seen 2 days prior, maybe a mile and a half north of there. Just grabbed my bow and jumped out of the truck and left the truck running in the road, dove off into the wash, and I was able to cut maybe 30, 40 yards just using the wash. It was over my head, one of those big, deep washes, and just popped up. And I mean, he's like 65 yards. So I was able to get like another 5 yards and just laced him.
Nice.
You're my hero.
Yeah, tipped over dead. Well, yeah, I mean, we got some pictures with a new pack. I wanted to throw some quarters on it just for kicks. But that buck literally died. I think I ranged my truck, which was running in the road, 58 yards.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a hell of a pack out.
So I don't know. I know it wasn't the epic, like, I guess there's all types of hunts, there's an elk hunt like I went on this year where I was 9 miles, and I was 3 days to pack that bull out. And then there's hunts like this that are sometimes you just get a bird in a hand.
Yeah.
Just a gimme.
Do you think more of the late season hunts are
For sure.
that style? Because
sure.
there's always roads where these bucks are,
Yeah, for
for
sure.
the winter
Yeah.
range.
And it's not my favorite type of hunt. I mean, I don't know. We filmed it, so we'll see what comes out of it. But there's probably many times on that hunt where I'm looking at a camera going, man, this is just not my favorite type of hunt, just where you're just covering country in a truck and you're really looking for a buck. And then once you find that buck, you're hunting him, And that part, I don't like the driving and glassing. It's just not really my jam. It's actually, in my opinion, it's harder for me. It's like more of a mental grind. I mean, we went from dark to dark every single day, just covering so many bumpy, rough miles. Like, guaranteed my truck is going to need some work. Definitely new running boards.
Tire company Cedar City. Here we come.
Definitely new running boards on the passenger side. Yeah. Those took a hit, but I mean, it wasn't my favorite type of hunt, but in the end, it worked out, and it was fun. I mean, it's a fun chance to look at a ton of deer.
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean, it's always fun to hunt deer in the rut, right? I didn't see.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't see tons of big bucks like I had hoped. A lot of yearling bucks and 2-year-old bucks, and it's kind of the same. It really does feel like there was kind of that age class of like that 4-year-old, 5-year-old buck that was just kind of missing. I think I maybe saw, and this is legit the truth, I probably saw 150 bucks. I think I might have saw one 4-year-old buck.
Yeah,
and that was body size. It wasn't antlers, showing out. Like, that was body size 4-year-old, 4.5-year-old buck. So tough in that regard.
That's rough.
It's like that across the whole West, man. It's just,
I mean, there's pockets.
Yeah,
there is pockets.
I think there's some pockets. Yeah, I think, southern Utah, I saw a lot of really good deer this year. They've killed some great bucks out of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some decent bucks out of New Mexico. Did you guys see the governor's buck out of Colorado?
Yeah, I did.
270?
272.
I mean, that's a giant.
Yeah.
And just a cool configuration on that buck. So
wild.
You probably know more about that one than I do.
I know.
I'm just reading your face.
I know everything.
I don't know.
Not to sound like an asshole, but
I don't know anything about it.
I was through text message. I was like in the mix during.
You were following along.
Oh, I was like watching the movie. Yeah.
It was a giant deer.
Giant deer.
I mean, probably one of the coolest bucks I've seen in a long
Pretty
time.
good fluke too, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind of a no-namer unit, maybe?
Oh yeah, no-namer unit. And like just a pretty good, like one of those things where you chase rumors for a long time and you're like, this shit ain't real. And then
just
hunting sucks. Let's go check on that rumor one more time. Bang. There he is.
So wild.
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Ghost buck.
That's wild.
Ghost.
Well, today I thought we would do a bow review.
Oh, I got a even better thing for you on that buck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to put this out there, but no names here, but Jay Scott's friend. They killed that buck on public land, BLM public land. Jay Scott's friend missed that buck at 125 yards, third season.
Oof.
Yeah.
With the
125 yards in that same BLM.
Ouch.
Buck fever.
I don't know. It's just, that was something that came after
Factory
that,
loads.
After that deer was dead and the dust settled. There was a hey.
No one else heard that.
What did you say?
Suppressor.
I said suppressor.
There was a text message sent, and it was forwarded to me. Hey, yeah, that buck is third season, missed it, 125. I'm like, oh my god.
You ever missed an animal like that you
Not
just
like that.
haunted you like that?
Well,
I haven't. I don't think.
No, not like that. I missed one when I was young, when I was 16 years old. Big palmated thing, Southern Utah rifle tag. One of my first like really good tags. And I missed him a bunch. I was 16.
16.
And I still remember the shots, what happened, the feeling. I still remember all of it.
You probably lived with that one a little bit easier knowing you were 16.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's such an easy write-off. I was 16. I've only killed, 3 deer before that?
Yeah, I don't think I have. That one would haunt you, though.
Yeah.
A buck of that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on BLM.
Yikes.
Public, like when you guys know Colorado just like I do.
Mm-hmm.
To see that buck,
buck
on public,
like
we could all go to 15 different private ranches and see, not a buck like that, but like very, very big deer.
Good deer.
But to see that buck on public, holy
That's
shit.
like truly a definition of once in many lifetimes.
Yep.
I've never seen a buck that big on the hoof. Have you?
No, not 270.
215, 220 is probably the biggest deer I've ever seen on the hoof.
259 is the biggest I've seen on the hoof.
259? Yikes.
Their deers look stupid.
259 is the biggest I've seen on the hoof.
That's crazy. What's the biggest bull you've ever seen on the hoof?
424.
Gotcha.
How big is that? Oh,
It's so big.
that's mind blowing.
That was last year.
Just on the hoof.
Yeah, last year, 424. Before that, it was 407.
God.
And I luckily these bulls got killed. So I know what
Right. You know what
and
you're
it's always
selling.
nice because when you see something that big, like the whole time I was looking at that bull last year, that 424 bull, and I'm not good at scoring elk. They're just they get to a point where they're just so big. For
The
me,
wow
it's
factor.
just, I don't know, like big. I have no idea. He's just gigantic, bigger than anything I've ever seen. And then to keep sitting there looking at him like, man, that bull has to be 400. And then you add him up again and again and again. It's like, there's no way he's not. There's no way. But it's so hard to say. And then he ended up getting killed in his 424.
That's so stupid big.
And then the one before that was a Nevada bull. This was a long time ago, straight 6 point, 407. And Greg Crow's bow hunter killed it. So we saw him 2 days before he got killed.
Extras or straight six?
No, straight six.
Straight six.
On cover of Hunt and Fool. Long time ago.
Straight six.
Greg Crow's
400.
hunter, 407. Jack Brittingham killed it.
Gosh damn. That's big.
I'm pretty sure it was, sorry if I misspoke there. I'm pretty sure it was Jack Brittingham who killed it with Greg.
What's the biggest bull you think you've seen, Jarrell? Or maybe-
that bull that my brother picked the sheds off of, I think they figured it was 430. So I remember seeing it on winter range. Probably the biggest bull that I ever remember seeing with the tag in our pockets was my dad had a late season tag in 07. And second day I saw a bull had a missing second, so had a busted second on the right side, and that bull was over 400 with a missing second for sure.
Wow.
That was the biggest bull I think. So he was probably 420, I would say 415 ish. But I remember seeing that bull and just thinking like that's the biggest animal I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
with a tag. We didn't kill that bull. We hunted it for 6-7 more days and could never turn it back up. But I mean, I'm trying to think like, that bull that my brother picked up the sheds. I mean, that was a giant. We'd seen it the year before. It was always busted though, busted main beams, but I can't think of too many bulls. I've seen like 360, 370 bulls. My brother killed a bull that was 378. And I remember I watched him shoot that through the spotting scope. So I remember, what that looked like. But I mean, you go from, 380 to 410.
Such a big jump.
I mean, they just look
Fake.
cartoonish
Yeah, they
at
look
that
fake.
point.
Yeah.
And mule deer, I think even more so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's cool. It's fun. That's what's fun though. I mean, it's fun to know. I mean, they're still out there. I mean, this guy just killed this governor's tag buck. I mean, that buck was on, BLM and kind of a no-namer unit, I think, a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Just what I've heard. But, and then that buck that Brett, what was his name? The guy that we did the little documentary on a few years ago.
Brett Ross?
Brett Ross.
Yeah.
300-inch buck. I mean, that buck.
Public land.
That's what's great about it is that there's still some just absolute.
The Kyle Lopez buck, 316
Yeah, that
in
was a good
Colorado.
one.
He's public land.
Just misnomers, just out there floating around, getting by.
Gives me hope.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about bows though today.
Let's talk about bows.
Let's do a promo first though.
Sure you don't want to keep talking about big bucks?
I do like talking
Reliving
about
the
big
glory
bucks.
days?
Yeah. I got told by marketing we have to hit the promo in the first part of the podcast, so we got to hit the promos.
We're 23 minutes in.
We're
so.
way back. Sorry guys. I think they said first 5 minutes would be preferable, but
First 25 minutes.
We missed the mark.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit promo? Or do you want me to hit promo?
I've been gone. I don't even know what
You don't even know what it is?
Is
I don't either right now, but we'll just say podcast.
Yeah,
You can use
promo
the
code
podcast. Just use it when you sign up. It's been good for 50 points back in the Go Hunt Gear Shop. Yeah. We're moving definitely into research season and also maps. I mean, people are still using maps. I use maps all the time. I use it in conjunction with my research.
Mm-hmm.
I used it a ton in Nevada. So when I drew this tag, I applied for it based on using draw odds and application strategy articles and how the Nevada draw system works. I drew my first choice, and I was using maps the whole time in relation to my application, just to kind of see what the topography and what the layout of the land might be like. So, yeah, use the promo code podcast. Sign up for an insider account or a Maps membership.
Yep, get you $50 back to the Go Hunt Gear Shop.
That's it. So with that, we want to talk bows, and it's kind of probably a weird time of year. I always thought it was kind of a weird time of year. It seems like everybody releases in late October, early November.
That's what we talked about last
Yeah,
podcast.
with the Suppressor podcast.
So weird. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it does always seem odd to me that they release in November, but that's typically when October, November timeframe is when bows are released.
But then they all release at the same time.
All
It's like
companies
if
kind
you
of.
guys
Yeah,
just
within
released
about a month-
in like
a month-
August,
a month
you'd
window.
be the only bow being talked about. You'd be the only one. You have all these free months.
It's got to be something to do with production, right?
Yeah,
Getting production
probably.
runs out so that you have a chance to shoot them and get geared up for the next year, next fall. But literally as we speak, there's probably still people in tree stands, right, hunting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to think that you're just going to drop your existing setup, go get a new
switch
bow,
over.
Yeah.
get it all tuned up and dialed and sight tapes, and to then hunt. I mean, what they got a couple weeks.
Yeah,
left
a couple
of-
weeks probably.
They're not going to drop their existing setup.
Yeah.
And it's a hard
I
time of year to
did.
shoot a bow too. Like if you're going to be tree stand hunting, it's going to be brutally cold. So
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
use something that you've been shooting constantly. Know
You
how it
had your
works.
bow quite a ways before November,
I had mine for 10 days before I took it to Colorado.
but way before November.
Yeah, I had it way before November. I had it, I want to say I left for that elk hunt like the 12th or 14th of September. I think I got it like the first week of September, which
Yeah.
would be somewhat of a testament to how comfortable the
Yeah.
bow felt, that I felt good enough within 10 days to set that bow up, sight my pins in, and I felt confident enough to take it in the field and go hunt.
We
with it.
should say it was the Mathews lift.
Mathews lift, yeah. Yep,
33.
Yep, 33. Yep. So I thought for this podcast we'd do somewhat of a bow review. You've got yours.
Yep.
You've had it for a month, I would say.
Half a month.
Half a month, 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah. It launched it on the 14th. So I thought we would do kind of a bow review. And then also I thought it'd be interesting just to talk through bow selection. So I know that's a question I get asked a ton. I've actually been asked. I've probably had, when I got back into service from Nevada, I probably had 30 DMs of like, hey, do you really like that bow? What do you like about it? You know? So just like what to look for when you're buying a new bow. Brady's probably been a minute since you got a new bow.
Yeah, Mathews Atlas.
Atlas.
I will tell you though, Brady is a wealth of knowledge still, which
Yeah.
why wouldn't he be? Because he knows all this shit and he's data driven. But like messing with this bow, he's still got all these little nuggets.
he's
He'll
still
walk
telling
in
you
my
little
office.
things.
He's
Yeah,
like,
tips and
hey,
tricks.
did you do this? I'm like, where you been, Brady? Like, come talk to me, man. What else should we do?
Yeah.
He knows all the tricks still.
Gotcha. So I thought before we dove into like an outright review, I thought it'd be good to just talk about what people are looking for, what you should look for, kind of what are the most interesting or like the most critical factors, I guess, in buying a new bow, like what you look for. I know that Lorenzo, I was particularly interested in talking to you because you've been super slow to adopt a new bow.
Yep.
You've been shooting the Halon X since I think that came out in like
2016.
2016. Yep. So you're, man, damn, time flies.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It kind of
That's
seems
like-
a long time ago,
it's
but
like 8 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Judas Priest.
I've been shooting that bow since.
Where did time go?
And I got that bow early in 2016.
Yeah.
You remember? So I hunted with it in 2016.
Gotcha. That's so wild.
you
That's
just
a
think
long-
of the technology from
long
then to
time.
now.
Yeah, 8 years.
It's pretty wild.
It is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So you decided to make the switch
I did.
this year. Why?
Thanks to you.
Why? Like, what are you looking for in a bow? Like, let's say you walk into a bow shop. I mean, I didn't walk into a bow shop. I got my bow. I'm gonna just be outright, and we have a good partnership with Mathews. So we're gonna talk about Mathews. I don't have any issues with talking about other bows, and I'm fairly up to snuff on other
There's
bows.
one bow I want to talk about outside of Mathews, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. But I mean, for those of you that are listening, we're probably going to talk mostly Mathews.
Yep.
I can answer questions about other bows. I get a chance to tinker with others, and sometimes I like to pop up to my local pro shop and shoot other bows. I know that when Hoyt launched their RX, it just
Yeah.
the 8 came out. I popped up there opening day just to pull one out of the box and look at it, see what it looked like. But so I still have a ton of interest. I've shot other bows. I've shot Elite. I've owned Elites. I've owned Hoyts. I've owned Mathews. My brother owns a Bowtech. I tinker around with that, so I've got some ideas. But if you have questions, you can ask. But mostly Mathews. So with that, what do you look for? What are you looking for in a bow? Like this year, you got a new
Yeah.
bow. Well,
Yep.
let's run through factors. What are you looking
Yeah.
for in a bow?
Well, I'll start with this. Anyone who knows me good here, knows me well here, which you guys do. Like I get consumed by things. So I rarely like pick up something new because once I do, like I go so deep into it. And a lot of the times I don't have like the mental space or capacity to like just jump into something new. Like it was photography there.
Photography for a while.
Before it's been a lot of things over the years.
Sorry.
And then, with business and family and all this stuff, like I try to like corral myself because I know once I dive in, I'm diving in. And this year, like, I don't call it timing. I have I'm a little more on lockdown with the 2 kids and things. I have time in the office now, way more so than I did before. And you coming back and telling me like, hey, everything you like about the Halon X, you really need to look at this new bow. Then I started like, you know, doing some mental gymnastics and thinking about, okay, what do I have? I got a bow, shoots extremely well, you know, 285 FPS, 70 pounds, 448 grain arrow. Like everything's pretty average, you know, like right there average. Shooting fixed blade G5 Montex, been shooting those since 2016 as well.
You know, a tattoo.
I even have a tattoo
Of a G5.
back when I was dumb enough to get tattoos at things like Broadheads. I got one on my wrist.
I think it's great.
And so, yeah, I have a G5 Montec tattooed on me. It literally going back to like those times. And I don't know, you piqued my interest in a new bow. And timing's everything. I kind of had the time to like start digging in and diving in and doing a bunch of research and like understanding what I have and why I like it and everything that's coming out new. Like, man, I could beef this bow up, this new bow, because it's just so much faster than 2016 Halon. I think the IBO on the 16 Halon was like 325, 326. This is 348.
343 on the
343 on the IBO.
Yep.
So I'm like, man, so I could pick up a heavy arrow or heavier arrow, or I could go as heavy as I want. And I can really start like dinking around with this and really getting familiar with my archery equipment. I feel a little guilty that I've hunted so much with a bow and like I've been able to harvest so much with my bow, but I've never truly like understood the bow itself. I've always had great people around like Brady and you and, you know, getting bow set up. And by the time it gets handed to me, it's like better than any archery pro shop. And the thing is just absolute nails when I start shooting it. So like, you know, just pick it up and go. Well, now like I really wanted to understand archery as well. So I've just been diving in like crazy on that, like becoming my own personal bow shop.
So it's twofold. So you had an interest in doing your own work. So kind of being your own technician, if you will. And then
like really understanding it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So feet per second, was that?
It's more so like I don't want to just get a new bow and have the same thing. Right. Like I don't want
you want it to be better in some regard.
Yeah.
Right?
I want it to be different.
Or otherwise, why would you get a new one?
Exactly. Right? And I wanted it to be different. So Mathews coming out with 80-pound mods, like that was a no-brainer for me. Like 70 pounds, not to sound like an asshole or anything, but like really easy. I mean, like too easy. I'm like, man, 80 pounds and I could go heavy and do 80% let off, get more FPS on a heavier arrow. You know, buck wind better, all this stuff, cut arrows shorter with a heavier spine and like all these differences that I could get into, distances and sight tapes that would better fit, you know, my hunting scenarios. But the hard part is that Halon X, I've killed everything from now a stone sheep with it to, you know, to tiny little mule deer just for back in 2016.
Yeah,
you know?
you get a twinge of like regret when you look at your Halon X just resting in the corner.
So you know what
you got a new bow.
You know what I did do?
Did you shadow box it and hang it on your wall?
No. I couldn't fully.
I think you should.
I couldn't. It was really hard for me to put it down. I'm a loyal individual. Like I'm loyal about everything in my life, and like that's part of what's kept me with the Halon is it's been so good to me. Sure. Like
you develop some affection, some affinity
developed
for
a relationship.
Yeah, I get it.
I took the peep off of that and
transferred
I had
over.
to bring
something over.
I had to bring something over, and that was a easily convertible
transferred.
Thing. You know, they got all kinds of new shit. So really the only thing that works on that bow from this bow is the peep sight.
Yeah.
So I brought that over just, you know, out of nostalgia or whatever you want to call it.
So feet per second, obviously faster. You gain feet per second.
Oh yeah. On a heavier arrow.
Heavier arrow. So you gain more. You also gain the ability to gain more draw weight. So you went up to 80
went
pounds.
Up to 80 with 80% let off. Where I was coming from 70 with 85%
so
let off.
more let off.
Yeah.
Got it.
Or less let off. So more speed.
Gotcha. Anything else about the bow that you? I mean, when you shot the bow, you got the bow. Obviously, you got it set up right. I assume you've had a chance to shoot it.
Yeah.
In relation to your Halon X or any other bow that you may have owned previously and shot, What other kinds of things do you notice about this bow? And would you say that it is a justifiable upgrade? Like if you were someone out there buying a new bow, you were looking at getting a new bow, and you had no bow that you loved, like you, for the you love the Halon X. Are there things about this bow, in your opinion? I mean, your honest opinion, like, is it worth the upgrade?
Yes, like 100%. It's not even a question. And I've got 100, somewhere around 100 or less arrows through it, not that much. And I already know this is great for me. Like this is definitely worth it for me, time, energy, resources to put into this bow. The very first thing I told you immediately, right when I shot it too, was the vibration difference between the Halon to this is like, it's more than night and day. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's like the earth and the moon difference. It's crazy how different the feel is releasing an arrow from the Halon to this. It's wildly different. And then the 80-pound, 80% let off. The one thing I've really noticed too is how sloppy, because it was light for me, is how sloppy I would be in the back wall with that Halon, just because it was so easy for me to hold. And I would make some pretty sloppy, like breaking shots every once in a while, just because it was too easy. And this has really shown me, like, because it keeps wanting to jump on me, like those first 20, 30 arrows, I kept getting like jumped forward out of the back wall. I'm like, man, I really was sloppy. Like now I know why I was making those shitty shots. Like every once in a while I'd have just a weird shot without practice, any of that stuff.
Do you notice any difference in the back wall? Because I think
huge difference.
Yeah, I think that the lift is a whole lot more firm in the back wall.
There's no movement.
It's a lot harder back wall.
There's no sponge to it at all.
It's not. I mean, it's not, in my opinion. So it's almost an in-betweener. It's not as hard as a limb stop, because this isn't a limb stop. It's a cable stop. So you've got your stops that roll over. They roll into the cable. So you've still got just a smidge, in my opinion, of give. It's definitely not as hard as a true limb stop that you might get from another company like an Elite or a Bowtech or something like that. But it's infinitely harder than the switch weight cam, the old switch weight cam. Like,
do you like that a lot better, Trail?
I do like it because I feel like I get a much more clean break. It's like a much more crisp release. So whereas you pull into the back wall on a regular switch weight cam, like on my V3X, I've got ever so slight, give,
sponge,
right? Sponge, a little bit of, I'll call it a sponge, just what it feels like a little bit. It felt to me like the break wasn't as clean. I like a hard back wall. And some of the best bows that I've ever owned that I shot the best had a really stiff back wall. And so I do like it. I think it's a pretty serious upgrade. And it's like a minor detail that maybe doesn't matter to a lot of people, but to me it matters quite a bit. I like the back wall in the lift for sure. And I think it's due to the cam system, and then moving the axle to the top of the limb versus running the axle through the middle of the limb. But yeah, I do like it. That was one of the things I noticed right out of the box.
And that's when you were talking to me too about that, why I would like it, and running me through that stuff. Trail is always 2 or 3 pounds heavier on a bow scale, on a draw weight bow scale, because you pull so much harder into the back wall. Yeah. But now, like with this bow having 100 arrows through it, I'm pulling hard into the back wall now, which is exactly why I'm feeling so much better on each release. It's just like there's nowhere for any energy or motion to go than just straight back off of the string, and it's creating
Do you think
really
that's
good feel.
Got a little bit more benefit to shooting a hinge off a harder back wall? Is there anything to be said there?
I do. I think you just pull into it.
Pull into it more consistently?
It's just firmer, and you just pull more consistently into it. Yeah, and I think it just feels crisper. I don't know how else to explain it, and I don't know if it's like directly relates to a lot of accuracy, because there's a lot of bows that have some sponge in the back wall and guys shot them extremely well. I just know that for me, I shoot better, and it's just a crisper, cleaner break when I have a harder back wall. Yeah. So I don't know. That was like one of the first things I noticed. The other thing I noticed about the bow when I pulled it out is just, and this is a consideration, we'll probably kind of tie these in. So back wall is one thing. I think it's like the overall feel of the bow. You mentioned another thing is just the vibration going through the riser. And for some people, I mean, I've shot target bows over the years, and vibration for me has never been like a major selling point for me. It's not like, oh, I would stay away from that bow because it has a lot of feedback that goes through the riser. It's more of a feel thing. I don't necessarily know that like in a hunting situation, it matters all that much. It's definitely more efficient, right? If there's less vibration and less noise. But as far as like the accuracy of the bow, I don't know that I notice a huge difference between bows that have a lot of feedback and bows that don't have a ton of feedback. I think it's more of just a feel, and it just depends on what you're used to. And obviously, like dead in the hand, everybody talks about being dead in the hand. That bow's dead in the hand, dead in the hand. It's like, I mean, that is the thing people say. And it's true. It is dead in the hand. And I think that their bows in the last few years have all been really, relatively dead in the hand. But for me, that's not like the take-home selling point for me in a bow, but it is dead in the hand, I would say.
Yeah, I mean.
So that's one thing, is just like the feel of the bow when it goes off. I don't know that I don't know that it directly translates to accuracy. It's just a feel thing, I think. Do you ever notice that? Do you ever shoot a bow? It's just.
To me, it's always been like, I can't really fit into a lot of bows. So that's always a difficult thing for me to actually feel like it's shooting perfect for me, because I have such a long draw length, 32 1/4.
Good Lord.
So it's like I'm always tinkering the strings, making things longer, a little longer D-loop, trying to get comfortable, so I'm not like leaning into everything. So sometimes the feel to me is just like, well, if the bow fits me, it usually feels fairly decent.
Gotcha.
But I'm like, I want to say, like, I do love a hard back wall. Like that's something that.
Yeah,
that's what intrigues me about this. Because how do you think it compares to, like, because I still shoot the Halon X, or not Halon X, sorry, Atlas.
It's way harder.
Way harder than Atlas?
Way harder. Because I just put new strings on Cody's Atlas, and I was tinkering around with it. It's way more spongy, way more spongy than this bow. This bow definitely has, as far as Mathews goes, right up to, the only thing that you could do to make it a harder back wall is an actual limb stop.
Yeah.
It's the firmest back wall that a Mathews bow has had, in my opinion, that I can remember.
And you've shot them all.
Yeah,
the entire lineup all the way through.
Yeah, I can't remember a Mathews bow that I haven't tinkered with or played with in the last probably, since the Q2. It's 20 years ago, 22 years ago, something like that.
That's dating you.
Yeah. I've owned a lot of Mathews bows. So that's a good point, though. You bring up draw length, and I think that's probably one of the things that when you're considering buying a new bow, you're going to go into a pro shop and shoot. And that's what I would tell people, like, whether you decide on a Mathews or a Hoyt or whatever it is that you decide on, I think it would behoove you to go into a pro shop and shoot the different bows and have them set that bow up to your draw length. I don't think that there's anything as critical, in my opinion, as draw length. I think it's the key to finding a bow that fits you well, aims well, and then is going to be the most accurate for you. How do you measure your draw length? Do you do the old equation?
Yeah, like put your fist against the wall, measure it all the way back, or just
divide it by 2.5.
Yeah,
wingspan divided by 2.5, and that'll get you close. Mathews new bows and even the switchweight, those are on a mod system, so they come in 1/2-inch mods. Cool thing about these ones is that you can shift your draw weight. So like Lorenzo's bow has 80-pound mods on a 80% let off.
80% let off.
And you can tinker with those mods. So you could get a 70-pound mod and an 85% let off.
And
switch them out. It's just 2 set screws per cam, which is without a press, which is a nice little perk. I noticed that a lot of the new bows, you're talking Hoyt or Elite, those are available now in rotating mods on the cam, so you can adjust your draw length and your holding weight. And you can also adjust your draw length in those by 1/4 inch in some of those now, which is interesting because I can adjust this to a 1/2 inch, but then I'm tinkering with, and I did a ton of tinkering with D-loop length, twisting cables, twisting strings, playing with it in different draw lengths. And, your draw length is, like I said, I think that's key. What else do you guys look at? Feet per second, you said. We already mentioned that.
Yeah, you've shot the entire lineup all the way through up into the lift, like literally every single one. It's pretty easy for me to like notice difference from 2016 to now, right? Like it's, like I said, it's the earth and the moon as far as difference goes. But where I was coming from with it was just how different can the setup be and how would that fit my hunting scenarios? Like think about the last 8 years. What would I have liked to have different, And that's where I started. So a heavier arrow, much heavier arrow, and a lot faster was like a great starting point for me. I'm like, okay, this is I mean, I'm going to be able to be well over 500 grains, and I'm going to be 290 plus, like easily 290 plus.
Yeah.
So right there, I'm like, okay, that's a big difference, you know?
Let me ask you about axle to axle, because you have the Halon X, which is a 35-inch axle to axle bow, longer.
Yep.
33 inches axle to axle. This has got a bigger cam on it.
Yep.
Any difference? Do you notice any difference in the way the bull holds or aims for you?
The riser is longer on
Yeah.
the lift.
Much
by
longer.
quite a bit. So I actually think this holds better for me. I don't know what the magic is there or why that is, but it holds better for me than the Halon. And that's why I like the Halon so much. It's like I told everyone it was like a Cadillac sedan for me. There's not one person who can get in a Cadillac sedan and be like, oh, that rides like shit. You know? Everyone's like, doesn't look the best, and it's not flashy, but like that is the best ride ever. That's how I felt about the Halon. Is like every time I shot it, I'm like, just felt good every time. Like I never felt weird or out of tune or like, pushed past its limits. Everything was just dead solid on that bow.
You don't feel like you're giving anything up with the lift in a
Nothing.
33?
Nothing there. I honestly haven't noticed anything because of the riser difference.
Gotcha.
Do you always look towards a longer axle, or could you shoot a smaller one, or when would you?
I could
Shorter.
shoot it. I don't like to shoot it.
For what reason?
I like a longer axle bow just because I think it is a little bit more forgiving. I think it also fits my frame better at a 30-inch draw, so that the string angle on the peep, so it's closer to my eye on a longer axle bow. I think for me, like 33 inches is about as short as I would like to go. Like the V3X I had, which is 31 and a half. I like that bow and I shot it pretty good. I didn't love the string angle. It did felt like I had to creep into my peep a little bit, like get down into the into my draw on my anchor point. So I like a longer axle bow. And to be completely honest, like if Mathews made a 34 or 35 or 36 inch axle hunting bow, I'd shoot it because I just like a long axle bow. I just think it's more comfortable for my frame. I feel like it's more forgiving, but I feel like 33 is kind of a good happy medium. I feel like it's short enough that I could still hunt from a blind or a tree stand without giving up a whole lot. I can shoot thick country if I'm hunting elk and not feel like it's cumbersome to get around with, but I still feel like it's long enough that I shoot it pretty accurately. And like Lorenzo said, the riser is just so damn long on these things.
It actually feels longer.
That's just like a matter of physics, right? So, I mean, you've probably all heard this, but if you take a broom handle and you hold it in your hand and you try to wave that thing back and forth, and then you compare that to like if you were to wave a pencil back and forth, right? So it's shorter, right? Versus a broomstick, you have just length. It's just physics, right? So the longer the riser in your hand, the more stable that thing's going to be. So for me, it's a long riser. 33 inches is kind of as low as I would like to go. And they do make it a 29 and a half, which is probably great for guys that are hunting a tree stand or a blind.
Just because it's more tight quarters.
It's more compact, yeah. And then guys that are shooting a shorter draw length, like if you're shooting a 27-inch draw or 28-inch draw, and you're, 5'7" or whatever it is, 5'8", you're probably not giving up that much, and it is faster. And obviously there are some guys that can really shoot that bow accurately, probably more accurately than I can. A lot of it just comes down to mechanics behind the bow. But for me, I do like a longer bow.
Do you like longer brace?
Yeah, for the same reason. Brace height on bows have gotten, shorter and shorter. So the 33 is a 6.5 inch brace. The 29.5 inch is a 6-inch brace. It used to be pretty common when I got into bow hunting that most of them were 7.5, even. I think the Atlas is like 7 3/4. So long brace height.
What do you gain?
You gain feet per second with a shorter brace height because the arrow is on your string longer, right? So it's a longer power stroke. What you potentially give up is that it can be a little bit more finicky because your follow through has to hold that much longer. And everything that I've read and looked at, it's pretty, it's relatively insignificant. It's not that big of a deal. But you do have to be a little bit tighter, I guess, with a shorter brace height. If you look at target bows, most of your target bows have longer brace height, and that's for a reason. Longer axle, longer brace height. It's just because it's that much more forgiving. And that's the thing when you're buying a hunting bow is you got to kind of make a decision on, what are you, what are you ultimately looking for, right? Are you looking for a bow that is the most forgiving bow on the planet? Well, if you are, you're probably going to give up something in like feet per second, right? Which in turn can also cause you some issues. Feel of the bow. It's probably not as quiet. A longer axle, short or longer brace height is probably not going to be quite as efficient or as quiet, in my opinion. So it's probably going to get a little bit more feedback through the riser. So you're giving something up. It's kind of that happy medium you're trying to find, which is, I think, what Mathews has struck here with in the 33, in my opinion, is kind of a good happy medium, right? You have a decent brace height, 6.5, but it's still shooting, IBO 343.
So we throw the term forgiving out a lot. How would you define the term forgiving when it comes to a bow?
What do you think?
Well, I look at it from, so I do want forgiveness. And that's the other thing with this bow too, which is why I was willing to change or take on the headache of change this year, is I don't feel like I'm giving up much forgiveness at all from the Halon to this, for all the reasons Trail just said. But like hunting, forgiveness is a huge thing in my mind, right? Because in hunting, like I can't remember the last time I was flat-footed, standing, drawn, like everything was just dead flat, like shooting a target. You know what I mean? You're always bent over, like trying to wrap around a tree without getting your body silhouetted out from behind the tree, or it's always like an awkward stance thing, whatever. So forgiveness for me is like, if you aren't just perfectly dead nuts, solid, flat, every axis point just leveled, solid.
All your anchor points are perfectly touching.
Anchor points are perfect. Like there needs to be 20% room for error, 25% room for error there. You know what I mean? And that's all subjective to everybody. But like,
nope, I'm holding you to it. 25%.
If I can't get the bow perfectly anchored and perfectly flat and perfectly this, can I still make that shot?
Yeah, make it
and like
that. Shot.
That's a subjective forgiveness for me, and that's how I feel with this bow.
I would say it's forgiveness is like, if you shoot enough arrows, it's the arrows that break and you're like, oh shit, and it still lands close to middle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like that's a forgiving bow to me.
Yeah.
The bow that you're like, that one didn't feel good. It breaks, it's not center, and you look down range and you're like, oh, that one actually is either landed middle or not far off middle. Like that's how I would define forgiveness.
And Cody filmed this bow setup for me. Like I've just been setting it up day after day, messing with it, everything. And getting used to the 80% let off instead of 85, and actually having to hold it on the back wall. When I was paper tuning, bare shop paper tuning, I'd be like, well, that was shitty. Like jumped on me and I released, bullet hole through the paper.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this thing's good. You're like, I knew that was a shitty release and it still came off great.
But I think that's where forgiveness comes from. I think it's axle to axle length. I think it's brace height. I think it's just the efficiency of the bow. And then ultimately tune, like how tunable is the bow. And the better the bow is tuned, I think the more forgiving it's going to be, obviously.
Yeah.
It's going to hit middle.
I want to jump into tuning eventually.
We can hit it now. What else you got?
Well, I was going to talk about the limbs.
Oh, yeah.
So like Lorenzo's going from the Halon X, which has giant limbs. And they're, one piece compared to what we now have. They're split. Yeah, get 8 limbs basically. How is that for you? Do you notice anything different between the lift and the Halon X limb?
I mean, I just in the draw itself, like I notice it's like, I don't know what's the word, Trail, like more preloaded almost. Like when I start to draw into this bow compared to the Halon, so it's smoother there. Like if that makes sense.
This to me feels like a more even pull throughout. Yeah. It doesn't feel, especially with the 80% mods. Yeah. So the 80% mods, I feel like it's a pretty even, steady pull. Like I don't feel much of a hump at all.
Yeah.
I've heard that like the 29.5 at the longer draw lengths, kind of the extent of that. And I would bet, I think this is 30. Probably if you get to the full extent of this draw length, there's probably more of a hump. But if you're kind of in that sweet spot in terms of like what they offer in draw length, it's probably a pretty even pull. And I think to me anyway, this is it's weird because it's like it's a little bit stiffer, but it's more smooth. Would you say?
Yeah, so it feels, that was a better way to explain it. Like it feels more preloaded. So it's like stiffer, but it's smooth the entire way through. Like it never changes. I don't feel any change of like,
there's no real hump. It doesn't really dump into the back wall.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just feels straight the whole way, like solid the whole way.
I would say, I mean, like the cams, if you look at the cams on the lift, they're more closely resemble like some of the old speed bows, like a Monster or what is the X-Force, I guess, from PSC. So they more closely resemble that in shape. So from a cam, like when I first pulled the bow out of the box and I looked at the cam, I was like, this is going to be an aggressive mother. Like this thing is going to want to rip, my arm off. And
Just by looking at it.
Just by looking at it. Yeah. Just shape of the cams. But I think the way that they've moved the axle to the top of the limb and the way that it rotates through, I don't feel, I owned a Monster. I think I credit my, never-ending case of target panic that I've battled my entire life with the Monster. I mean, that thing gave me target panic, like flat out. Shot that bow so great for the first week, and then the first time that thing jumped out of my hand, I was never the same since. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I had flashbacks when I pulled the bow out of the box, and I was just like, shit, those cams look aggressive, but they're not. They're really not. And I think, like I said, I think it's just the way that they've moved that axle up and probably whatever tech, I don't know what else they've got built into that, but yeah, it draws smooth. Yeah. Did you notice any difference in, like we've talked a little bit about feedback, vibration, quiet, noise, and we did some testing. I did a review.
Yeah.
It's a lot quieter than the Halon X. Huh?
That was another like kind of shot to the heart there where I'm like, man, I really need to change, because when you had yours early, we did that decibel meter, compared this bow to my Halon. We'll just say it was very, very noticeable.
Can I mention something funny again real quick that we've talked about before? So now you don't have to plug your ears when someone else is shooting a bow like you did when your wife shot her elk.
That was just out of pure
just excitement.
Bull fever right there.
I thought it was just because it was a loud bow.
That's I've told people a lot. Like everyone,
have we shared that yet?
Killer. No, we haven't shared it. I've told this story on podcast before, but like the whole, you got to be a cold killer, all that. I'm the furthest thing from it. And I have no, like, I will gladly tell people that internal battle for me, because I do get so like out of control. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love the internal battle of archery hunting to like calm that down, like my stone sheep, right? Calm it down in the moment, make sure everything's executed. I love that battle. But when I'm not having to battle and my wife is the one shooting, I do things like plug my ears when she shoots a bow. So, and it's on film.
That clip, we have to share that.
I know we do got it.
I didn't know this.
You haven't seen that video?
That's hilarious.
He's literally plugging his ears when she's shooting a bow.
It was an old bow.
It's a Mathews Prima.
Safety first.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like that is like the definition of how jacked up I get in the moment. Like, because I didn't have to calm myself down there. I just kind of, like, it was all on her. So I didn't have to have that internal, like, process or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like, if anybody wants to know how jacked up I get in the moment, that's how jacked up.
That's what hunting's all about.
Yeah.
So do you remember what those numbers were?
What?
The decibels?
The decibel? I don't.
But we could refer to the video.
But it was definitely quieter.
It was a solid difference.
Here's what I noticed with this bow. So I've had a bunch of people ask me, like, is it quieter than the Phase 4, quieter than the V3X, right? So I think it's quieter than the V3X because it's got this dampening, rubber dampener between the limbs. So I do think it's quieter. In compared to the Phase 4, and I've got a Phase 4 over here, and I was doing some dinking around with it in my basement the other day. So as far as noise goes, I think they're very similar in sound. This one, I don't know how to explain it other than the noise feels shorter. It feels quicker. Like the when the bow goes off, it's not like this prolonged reverb. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It just feels like the noise is there and it's gone. Like it's quick. It's much quicker.
I'm not a pianist by any means, but it's like the difference of pressing the pedal and then hitting the key, or no pedal and hitting the key.
Yeah. And that's the only way I can explain it, is that I don't know if it's per se quieter as far as decibel goes in comparison to like a Phase 4, but I feel like the length of sound is quicker. And here's a little tidbit that I haven't shared with anybody really.
Oh,
here first.
Okay.
So why I've thought a lot about noise in a bow, because like for a long time, Mathews, a lot of bow companies have chased noise. Like noise in the bow, right? I mean, Mathews has chased it for a long time, like trying to work out the vibration, the noise that the bow makes when it goes off. And I've always thought, like, does it really matter that much? So I'm here to tell you it matters quite a bit. I missed an animal this year with this bow. I mean,
I've never heard this.
yeah, I know. I haven't told anybody. So outright missed. Okay. And I didn't miss once. I missed twice. Okay.
There's no way.
Yes. And I don't know if it's a range thing. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was just amped up. Okay. But I missed this animal 2 times with an entire herd literally never picked their head up.
What?
Really?
Just
Really?
stood there. Yep.
The buck you killed?
Nope. Nope. That elk I shot in Colorado. I missed it 2 times. So
And they didn't hear the bow go off at all.
did not hear the bow go off.
That's
Literally
that-
missed that. I missed that bull twice. I missed him at 62 yards. Walked in. I missed him at like 58. And then I think he kind of finally settled in at like 55. And I just cut yardage. And I don't know if I was shooting over the top of him, which I think I was. But that's why it matters.
Huh.
So I never thought it mattered. I never was like, oh, that's not a big deal. But I can tell you that I had a herd of 6 cows literally never picked their head up.
Wow.
Just
That
keep-
wouldn't have been the case with the Halon X.
just,
No chance.
Just kept feeding. The bull was aware because he's having arrows go over him, and he just kind of sat there and was like, huh. But literally, I was blown away that an entire herd of elk from within 60 yards basically just like chilled out.
I can't believe you didn't tell us that.
I know. I
You're
didn't want
usually
to.
like such an open book
I was
when you get
saving
home.
it.
Saving it for the podcast. What a guy.
I told Derek Nelson. He knows. But I
Wow. So I'm later to know.
I didn't want to tell anybody because nobody wants to tell anybody that they missed, right? I'm supposed to be golden
Yeah,
in the
all the
moment,
time.
but I get jacked up. But yeah, I missed that bull, and I've had a lot of time to think about it. But I don't think that happens if that bow is loud. I think I never thought it mattered, but I do now. I'm a believer.
It's like suppressed and unsuppressed. We
And
talked about that.
I don't know that you'll get that every single time, but in that environment, in that situation, on that animal, on that day, in that herd,
Yeah, it mattered.
they just didn't seem to notice.
Interesting.
Didn't
That's pretty
notice.
quiet too. There's no way that happens with the Halon because when we did that decibel testing, I was running safety. I was safety foreman. Is that what it's called? A safety foreman, right?
Yeah.
I was blocking out in the warehouse. I was blocking the aisles that nobody could walk through because we were shooting a bow. And when he would shoot his bow, and then when he'd shoot the Halon, I knew exactly which bow was which. I'm like, oh, that's mine. Like that was for sure mine, and I could hear it. I could hear exactly where it came from. And I know this is super anecdotal because I don't have telescopic hearing and all this shit like elk do, but like I noticed, I could tell exactly where it came from when he'd shoot his bow. Really, the only thing I could hear was the whistle of the arrow and the target. I never really heard the bow.
So we're talking, you said the whistle of the arrow. Do you think it's more important to have a quieter bow or quieter arrow? Or can you have a combination of the two to ultimately have the best setup? Like, what do you think really matters? Is it the bow or the arrow that's noisy?
I think it's the arrow that's the most noisy. Yeah.
But I think it's a more natural noise. It's not as like
The whistle?
it's not as like interest peaking to an animal as like the
Harsh,
thud of a loud
yeah.
bow.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out. I think arrows. I think they hear the arrow. I don't know. I'd be interested. We should do some testing actually, just to see like at what distance do you not hear the bow go off,
Yeah.
and different bows. That would be interesting
That
to
would
know.
be really interesting.
And again, that would be to the human ear, and you're definitely going to have different results if you go to like an animal. But I think a lot of cases, I think they hear the arrow. That's just my gut telling me.
They have to hear the arrow.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, the arrow's
that whistle,
loud.
and like depends on what broadhead and vanes you shoot. I mean, the stiffer the vane, the quieter the vane is going to be in flight. Anytime you got a vane that's malleable, right?
Yeah.
It's rippling, it's
Yeah.
cutting through the air, so you're making more sound. And then if you're shooting a broadhead that's vented, you're going to get that whistling as it's spinning through the
And
air.
again, I could sound like a total idiot here because it's completely anecdotal, but like you guys duck hunted in Montana, but you guys haven't like really duck hunted, right?
I'm not a duck hunter.
Did you guys ever have birds cup and drop altitude right above you?
No, but I've had magpies and shit fly over me, and
It's
there you
this-
hear that.
It's the same to me. That arrow noise, it reminds me of like, F-16 teal coming in and dumping altitude and have their wings cupped and flying fat. It's the same noise. It's like that.
Really?
I don't know. It like brings me back to
I can
a
see
really
that.
good duck
Yeah.
hunt. I'm telling you, and again, just me anecdotally, but like when I hear an arrow whistle, that's what I think of as like a group of ducks just like coming in, dropping altitude right on top of you. Sounds the exact same to me. That's why I say it's more of like a natural noise.
Gotcha.
bird whistle, that wind noise is more natural than like the thud of a string slapping something.
So we're kind of talking about it in terms of like Western hunting then, like maybe a 40-yard, 50-yard shot. So whistle's going to be more important. What about whitetail guys then? So you always see guys missing whitetails because the buck ducks low. So is that the bow that they're really hearing, or is that the arrow? Because those are shorter distances. They could be 30
the term
yards.
is duck the string, right?
Yeah.
Which I mean, if you take it at face value, they're ducking the sound
Slap
of the bow.
string.
Yeah. So then a bow matters.
Then a bow matters.
Yeah.
Well,
Whitetail hunters
if
bow
you think
matters.
about it, speed of sound is what, 720 something?
You got me.
What's the speed of sound? It's seven. It's in the 700s.
You're like a coos. Like they're jumping.
Coos come inside
Yeah.
out.
They're jumping
man.
everything.
Yeah.
Like you blink and they're probably jumping because you're blinking too loud.
Yeah, they come inside out.
Yeah.
So 770 is the speed of sound. So you team that up with a 300 FPS bow. Like the sound is getting there twice as fast.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just
More than twice. Well,
it's
way
gotta be-
more than
it's
twice
gotta be
as
more than
fast.
twice as fast. Yeah. You can make
Not
feet
a
per
math
second
guy.
to mile per hour.
Not a math guy.
to me, I just felt
Right? Like way faster.
yeah.
What's 750 miles per hour in terms of feet per second?
That's gotta be insane.
Yeah.
Not a math guy here. All I can tell you is the noise is getting there way faster. So
It's actually not as high as I thought it would be.
1,125 feet per second is noise, is the speed of sound, and your arrow is traveling at 300.
300.
call it.
Yeah. 300.
That's crazy. So there you go.
It's getting
It
there.
is. What's that? Four times?
I'm not a math guy.
4 times is.
Google's not going to tell you that.
Google can't
The
do
Google
that.
will
math.
tell you anything.
But honestly, if you think about it, that is actually pretty wild, right? It is ducking the string then.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I've seen deer come completely uncorked. Yeah, I mean, just at the sound, and I never used to be the guy that was like, I don't know that sound matters that much, but I just in this situation, and again, it's anecdotal because it's just that one situation. I just felt like, wow, I really genuinely felt like that made a difference.
Yeah.
Do you still see people putting, cat whiskers, limb savers, slapping them on all over the bow, slapping them on the limbs like we used to way back in
No.
the day? Like, I don't see that
I
anymore.
don't. Yeah, Mathews has their monkey tails. I pulled mine off, but they've got the rubber monkey tail
Yeah,
thing
you
that
see
goes
those,
under
but-
them. I see those, but and you got a string stop, I guess, which is pretty common on
Yeah.
any bow sold now, but you don't see people
You
shooting.
remember those little tiny ones you can get like half inch?
Sam's
You can
limb
get
savers that
three-
go between your limbs.
Remember
Yeah.
the spider ones? They're just the
Yeah.
big like ball of bunch of things.
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
used to be able to stick them on like
Oh,
side
yeah,
of bows,
yeah.
the side of the riser. Like,
There was a whole market for them. They had
Yeah.
all kinds of little ones and big ones,
Yeah.
and you put them between your limbs. You just don't see it anymore. I don't.
I don't at all.
I just think, I think we've gotten to a point where they're just so efficient. And these bows, I mean, if you look at the difference between this and like a V3X, the limbs are beyond parallel. I mean, they're preloaded already, and you bring those back. And I think anytime you've got that much load, they're essentially canceling each other out. So noise and vibration are essentially canceled. Which any bow I've ever shot that was real preloaded was like that. It was relatively dead in the hand and more quiet than longer limbs that aren't as preloaded. But again, I don't claim to know I'm not an engineer. Mark's probably rolling over somewhere right now in Wisconsin.
What is
Mark's
Mark
like,
talking
oh
about?
my
Not what
gosh, this moron. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean,
you love the bow.
yeah, here's the thing is like sometimes I'll get a bow and I'll admit it. I didn't love my Phase 4 and maybe I got a lemon and I don't know if I did or not, but I feel okay with saying it. I didn't love that bow as much as I love my V3X, and it could be just I had a lot of nostalgia with my V3X. I had some successful hunts with it. Felt like I always aimed and shot it well. My Phase 4, I just didn't take to that bow is like I did the V3X. And so I stayed with the V3X. In fact, that buck I shot in Utah this year, I shot it with my V3X because I just had tons of confidence in that bow. This bow I pulled out of the box, set it up, and like I said, within 4 days of like shooting every day at the range after it tuned, I was like, yeah, man, this bow slaps.
As the cool kids say.
Way to sneak that one
This
in there.
bow slaps.
Dude,
yeah.
we're cool, man. We get it.
I just took to it. And sometimes I think you do. I think you get a bow that you just take to. And I took really easily to it.
So let's talk tuning.
Yeah.
Did you do anything different tuning in this bow than your other bows? Did you have to tinker with a lot of top hats, or was it relatively easy
I did have
come
to
together?
move my top hats, but I think a lot of that is, it's grip specific.
Mm-hmm.
These bows, if you look at them, they come with the Engage grip. So it's just a nice rubber grip, which by no means is a bad grip. It's just not my favorite. I've always kind of got deep into the grip. I have kind of a deep low grip, I would say. And so I've shot mine off the riser. So I wrapped it in tennis racket tape, and that's going to affect your tune. So I did have to swap my top hats, which top hats, I mean, we've done videos on them, but essentially what it is, it's a means to move your cams left or right. And you can use that as a method of tuning. So you can get a top hat kit, which are different widths of top hats. You do have to pull the cam, so you have to have a press, but it's a simple process. You just pull the cam out, you swap the top hats, and push your cams either left or right. So,
so you got thickness in it.
little spacer essentially, and it's pretty straightforward. So if you get a left paper tear, you move your cams left. You get a right paper tear, you move your cams.
So you'd
right.
put in the bigger top hat on the right side.
Yeah,
to
you just shift your cam one way or the other.
Or you'd put a smaller top hat on the left side. What would you do?
So you come. So like for example, this one, you can see that I've got the thicker top hat on the right side. So if I was getting a right paper tear, I could shift this cam back to the right by just swapping the thicker spacer to the left side.
Yep.
And then the smaller one. So you just flip them. They come in pairs, so they're paired together. And if you pull these top hats out, you'll see they have a marker, like a ring around it. And it'll either be at the bottom, the middle, or you might have two rings, and that would indicate that you have a pair, right? So you just find two that are paired. There's other companies that do it different ways. There's companies that use a set screw to rotate the limb cup. I actually really like this, even though you do have to have a press. I feel like it's more stationary, like it's solid. It's not like a bolt that can back out or do anything different.
Once it's in, it's
in. Like that's where your cam is. So even though you have to have a press to swap them, I feel like once I get them swapped and I get it tuned, like it's there.
Yeah.
It's not going to move. So I do like that. Timing was easy. I mean, Mathews has the timing holes, which is kind of nice. You've got where your cable runs through your timing hole here on the bottom. Just for a starter, I'll just match that on both the top and the bottom, and you do that just by twisting cables.
Do you like a top cam to hit before the bottom cam type person? Do you like them hit the exact same time?
I like mine to hit exactly the same time. Yeah, I just match them up so they're hitting exactly the same. And then I set my center shot dead nuts between the cams. And that's my starting point. First step for me, my cams are timed, and then I tie my knock set in dead center of the string, and then I set it level through the rest, and then I just start tuning. But I didn't really have to have, I did a bunch of tinkering just for fun. Mm-hmm. And there are people that, they feel like a bow aims better if one cam is hitting, slightly above the other. There is some things that you can do there, and you can monkey around with that, but then you're going to have to adjust your rest height to accompany the paper tune or the tune. Yeah. But yeah, mine was pretty well dead set from factory. Cams were easy to time. It tuned super easy. Did you find yours was easy to tune?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Have a twist in time. Or no, that was the VXR. This one was in time out from the factory, perfect time from the factory. Yeah, the VXR was a half twist, and that was good. And then this one is.
Gotcha.
Because I started messing with that VXR before this bow, so I could get real comfortable with what I wanted to do and how I wanted to set it up. That one was half a twist, and then this one was in time perfectly.
Mm-hmm. And tuning, you just recently got into doing your own stuff. Part of this I wanted to cover was like, you're brand new to it.
Oh, I am brand new.
Like you're 2 weeks, 3 weeks into kind of your own process, and you've set your own bows up the last
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I set that VXR up to just get comfortable before I started working on this bow that I wanted to use.
It's your practice bow.
Yeah, it's my practice bow, and I did a bunch of, I messed with that bow all over the place. Twisted it up, twisted it down, messed with draw length, everything.
Was it as intimidating? I think people think that it's intimidating. Were you intimidated by the process prior to this? Prior
to, yeah.
Okay.
But for a lot of different reasons, just because I knew if I get into this, like I'm
you're gonna be into it.
Like I'm done. Like I have a bow press in my office now. Like in my office, I brought it out from the closet to like in my office.
So you stole my bow press.
I did steal Brady. Well, technically, did I steal it? Because it was here anyways.
I leave it here for office use.
I'm just using it more than
I'm glad it's getting used. I'm glad it's getting used.
But and just like, oh, am I gonna fuck this up? Kind of a thing. Like, am I gonna be able to put a bow in my own hand that's as good as trail handing it to me? It's kind of was the thought in my head, if I'm just being completely honest. And yeah, it's once you get going, it's not intimidating at all.
Was it easier than you thought?
Wildly easier than I thought. And like more fun than I thought. I thought it was going to be just headache after headache. Oh shit, I got this problem. How do I do whatever?
It can be, like, but
yeah. And I'm sure, like you've told me a story about a bow.
You'll probably get a bow every now and then that is a headache.
Yeah. Well, this one, like, well, I like this. I want to change it. It's like you go back and change it, and it's like,
that's
I
the
like
best
that.
thing about having your own gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I tinkered a bunch with D-loop length on this just for fun. And
I've done that
and
too.
I would just change out my D-loop length. I messed a bunch with, twisting cables in to make my draw length a little bit different and, go up, see how it would aim. That's the best part about having your own equipment.
Yeah, it's been fun. My work has suffered. It's fun. I've been late to meetings. I'm like, oh shit, yep, I got a meeting, but I'm on the bow press, like having fun.
Yeah.
So at first I thought it was going to be like a headache and intimidating, but it's fun. I like it.
The biggest benefit I always thought is like, well, you know how to work on your own equipment, you know how to tune in, now you know how to fix problems. If something ever arises, now in the field, if you have to tie a new D-loop, you know how to tie a new D-loop.
Oh yeah.
If
Easy.
your rest cord breaks, you know how to fix it in the field. Like you're starting to learn how to manipulate things to make it work and know exactly what everything's doing. So one day you're out shooting, it's because of this, I need to go back home.
And that's where I did feel guilty, is like I bow hunt so much and I've been able to hunt so many different animals and kill so many different ones with a bow. It's like I gotta know what this thing is. You know what I mean? Like I've started to, and just instead of texting you and bothering you on your downtime, like I should probably figure this out on my own.
The one scary thing I remember when I first got into bow tuning way back in the day was like when you tie your first D-loop.
Pulling it back.
Is that sucker gonna hold, or am I gonna smack my nose and
what I've
my
been
face
doing?
up?
Every time I tie a new D-loop, because I've tried a bunch of different materials, tried the lengths, all this stuff. Every time I've probably tied, between the VXR and this bow, I've probably tied more than a dozen D-loops already in 3 weeks just to mess around. I put it on the drawboard with the safety, and I just let it sit for 5 minutes, and I just let it sit and tighten. And I'm like, well, if I can hold there for 5 minutes, I'm good.
Yeah.
I think the most intimidating thing is like the first time you pop a string off a cam or a cable. Like the first thing you think you pull that off the post. And then for example, I think probably one of the first things that somebody does is like change out their strings and cables, right? And when you start swapping that, I remember the first time I started doing it, I was like, oh shit, now what goes where? Because it seems like there's just strings and cables going everywhere. It's like the thing I've always told people is like, you have a phone in your pocket, just take a picture of it and just document everything as you go. Do one at a time. So if you're going to do your string first, relax the bow, look at it, make sure everything looks good, and just do one end of a cable and work it to the other end. I mean, it's pretty straightforward once you do it, and there's no need to be scared of it.
And that's where I started, was full string change on the VXR. Like I wanted to start from like ground zero. So I got those ABB bowstrings from the shop, and that's where I started to like, okay, if I'm going to need to know what these are, where they go, Yeah. And it was, at first, it did seem like there were strings everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, you're like, well, that clearly goes there. Oh, well, that's labeled C for cable. That's labeled S for string. Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. It's not nearly as bad as you think.
But then even just getting used to, when you put in a press, making sure before you relax the press that your strings and cables are all in there, everything's smooth, because you don't want to have something bad happen. But it's just like getting confident and working on, which like that's why you had 1-year-old bows, just use as a practice tuner bow.
The thing I like about it is sometimes it feels like you're doing a puzzle. Like when you're tuning a bow and you're tinkering with it, and you're take a twist out of a cable and add a twist, and you're looking at cam timing, and you're shooting it through paper. You're getting a result through paper, and you're problem solving as you go. You're like, okay, I could do this. I could move my top hats. I could move my rest. Okay, I've got a high tear or low tear. That might be a cam issue. It feels like I'm solving a puzzle or a problem as I'm working along, and then like that sense of satisfaction when you get it to a point and you shoot it through paper and it's just bullet holing every time. And you
bare shaft, paper tune bullet hole, and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, or you
we go.
You go out and you shoot a bare shaft at 20 or 30 yards and it's hitting with your fletched arrows. It's a good feeling, man. Like, I don't know. I'm a geek when it comes to archery, but I don't think there's anything better. It's like one of the most simple, purest pleasures of my lifetime.
Well, what did I text you when I got that first bullet hole? You You remember
I
what
can't
texted
remember.
you?
No, but you were stoked. I know
I
that.
was like, this is almost as good as killing a
Yeah,
stone
that's
sheep with
right.
a bow.
Yeah,
And I said,
almost.
well, just kidding. But it does feel
Yeah.
really good.
One lead to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good feeling.
Do you think you ever not tinkering on a bow? Do you ever reach a point where like this bow's perfect, I don't have to tinker anymore?
I wished I were, but I'm not. I'm always playing. Yeah.
So how would you
Which
determine
sucks.
if you how would you determine if you need to keep tinkering? Are you putting up a Vegas face and shooting for score and then seeing if you have to, adjust cams here, there, tweak stabilizers, adjust weights, or how are you determining how much more you're doing?
I shoot at my local range and I shoot most every day. And if I have a day, well, I'll shoot for score. Sometimes I'm better at keeping it than others, but I usually shoot like 4 arrows per end, and I'll kind of keep score of how many I drop. I don't keep score or anything else. It's just like how many arrows, if I shoot 14 targets, 4 arrows per target, like how many did I drop? So that's kind of like how I gauge it. When I really start tinkering is like if I have a day that it feels like the bow's not aiming or shooting well, and I just start in my head, things start.
Oh, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, like, oh, maybe I'm going to drop an ounce off of my back bar. Maybe I'm going to change the angle of it. Maybe I want to, tilt it or add another 2 ounces to my front bar. Maybe I want to slide the front bar back a little. And what I do is I'll make changes to my setup and I'll shoot for 2 or 3 days and see if I feel like my scores are better. If it feels like it's holding better. If it feels like I'm dropping, less points in a round. But that's kind of how I gauge it. And I would say typically I want to have my bow set and kind of wrapped up at least like a week before I leave on a hunt. But it's not been uncommon for me to make some slight changes. Usually my windage on my sight is the one that like I'm tinkering with. Maybe a day before I go to hunting.
Maybe on the way too.
I may have made some changes like in Nevada to my windage.
Yeah, I'm not
just
surprised.
at camp,
Really?
shooting a little right. I was like, I'm gonna bump that over, give it like 5 clicks to the right, and just see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm always kind of tinkering with
Where
that.
I'm
And
having fun tinkering right now is arrow setup
yeah,
because I'm from scratch.
mm-hmm.
So right now I have that 448, which is where I came from, 448 grain, 300 spine. I've gone to a 505 grain, 235 spine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to a 565 grain, 250 spine. And I've just been like messing with those. It's been fun. That's been a lot of fun.
It's fun to play with feet per second and grains and weights and different
How they're
configurations.
hitting paper and it's awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to start messing around with the brass knock sets on the string and move them, stack them a little bit closer. Let's go half inch away. Let's group them half inch apart, quarter inch apart,
I'm gonna
four
cut-
bottom.
I'm not there.
I'm going to cut myself off before I get to
That's
things
what I
like
used to
that.
do back in the day.
Yeah, I'm going to cut
see how I
myself
can
off there.
mess around with it.
Yeah. We didn't talk about this, but I wanted to.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. What does it look like you got in your hand?
So I think we can officially start to talk about this.
Can
I
we?
saw Lancaster was talking a little bit about it, so I feel like I'm in the clear to go ahead and give it a. So this is new. I've had this, I think, since the Phase 4 came out.
Yeah.
So I've had it for about 1.5 years, I want to say at this point. But this little shot sensor. So this is basically a little microchip sensor that goes in the grip.
Explain the size for people who are listening.
It's probably 1.5 inches, I would say.
Tiny.
By 1/2 inch. Fits under your grip. So you'll see in these new bows, the Phase 4 and then also the Lift. It's got a little groove, little slot that you can fit that thing in. It's rechargeable with a C?
USB-C.
USB-C.
Yeah.
You recharge it, but it works with an app on your phone. So you download the app, use the sensor, you get it charged, you set it up. But this has been super cool to play with. And I heard today, actually on the way down, I was talking to the guy, just texting him back and forth, that this will go live to the App Store probably by the time this podcast, maybe not by the time this podcast comes out, but within a week. You'll be able to purchase and download, it sounds like. But essentially what it does is it's a sensor in your grip that gives you real-time feedback. So you shoot an arrow, you can check the app on your phone, and it's going to upload that shot, Bluetooth to your phone. It's going to give you all kinds of information, like where your level was throughout your shot process. So like the length of your draw, where your bubble was when it went off. It's going to tell you your hold time and then your aim time. It's going to give you your torque. So like how much torque you had in the bow and the arrow went off. It's going to give you your aim pattern, which is super cool. It's got this thing where it's actually slidable. So you can look pre-shot, post-shot. So you can see your configuration on a circle on the app, and you can see where your float is, and you can see where the shot broke, and you can see what your bow did post-shot. You can also use it to set up your levels in your bow. So you can set your second and I believe your third access level also using this little sensor. Yeah. And it keeps track of your shots, and it also gives you like an overall score. And it's basically like out of 100, and it kind of tallies, your aim, your torque, how consistent you are within your window of aim, time, and release. And then my understanding is that you'll be able to link together with other people and maybe even potentially do like leagues remotely. Yeah.
That'd be
cool. We can have a GOHUNT league from wherever you're at.
That'd be cool.
We could shoot leagues. But the cool thing about it that I found is it's made me way more aware of like my hold, my pattern, like where I come in from.
What does yours look like?
Mine usually comes in from top left down into the dot and it kind of rotates. And then as I follow through, it kind of dips low left. So for me, I could actually, that's the interesting thing about
V pattern coming in from the left and then going back.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about it is that you can use it to help develop your stabilizer setup. So if you want to, work and more precisely work on your follow through with your weights and your angle and both your horizontal and your vertical angle on your back bar, you could tinker with that to adjust your aim and your follow through. Like I said, you could adjust your levels, which is pretty sick. I've talked to those guys. They've said it's been really cool. Like they've literally been in a tree stand, shot a deer, and pulled up the app, and they're like, "Okay, that's where it was when it went off. Like based on where I was aiming, they can tell their hold time, release time, their follow through, and also where their bubble was when it went off."
So yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That's
like
awesome.
You're basically seeing from shooting targets how you might naturally aim and hold and level.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you throw an animal in front of you if you're breaking down,
Sure.
or you can go into a tournament situation and be like, all right, I do break down in a tournament, or because of the nerves, I'm pulling my bow left every time. So maybe I need to make some tweaks or work on some shooting techniques and practice and fix that.
The real value I see in it is just consciousness. Like I'm so much more conscious of my shot when I have this in and I'm checking it. And I might not check it every single shot. What I'll do typically is like leave it in. I'll go out and shoot around and come back and you can compare across all the arrows that you shot. But you're starting to see patterns. Like you can see a pattern from where your bubble is when your shot breaks. And you're like, oh, I need to fix that because I'm either left or right, and you can develop a pattern and then you can adjust your stabilizer setup to account for that. You can see things like your habits and your aiming pattern, and you can calculate that and adjust it out.
So like you said, you've had one for a long time. We've heard about it a year ago. What were your initial thoughts when they told you about that? Because
this is badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was my first thought was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Like it works with the app on my phone and like I can do all this cool shit with it.
I still remember the one thing I told you right when that came out. And it's obviously for a bow, but I was like, come on, rifle company.
Sure.
Put something out on my rifle so I can see my natural aim, how I'm holding, when I'm breaking the shot, like all that crazy stuff. Like that'd be so cool. And it's you're adding tech to something, but it's tech for a good reason. Maybe you're getting more proficient. I
think anytime that you can collect more information that can help you in turn to make you more accurate, a better archer.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know that this is for everybody. Like maybe it's not for somebody that just pulls their bow out every now and then and wants to, flip a few, get ready for the season.
Yeah.
But for the guy that's like shooting all the time and you're actively working and trying to get better at, all the different facets of archery, I think it makes a ton of sense. I think I'm super excited about it.
So does the app store all that into it?
Mm-hmm.
So you can go look back.
You can look back. It saves every arrow that you shoot.
What kind of is there initial setup to it? Do
Yeah.
you have to enter a bunch of stuff in there? Like
you pair it to your bow.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an initial setup portion. It walks y'all through it. Super easy.
How does it know it's initially level? Is there do you have to kind of set your bow up level first and match it?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you can you can put the sensor in and you can pull it up on your app and move your bow into level because it's a sensor. It's going to level itself.
Okay. Yep. I get you now.
Yeah. That's part of the reason you can use it to, level your axes and your sight as well. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Like very excited.
Do you know what the cost is?
I don't know anything about it other than
You used it and you love it and it blew you away.
Other than I think it is, as far as archery goes, I think it's one of the coolest pieces of tech that's come around in a while.
Did you ever think that it'll be on a bow? Like I can't.
No.
Like that thought of creating that, like who had that idea? Because that's $1 million idea right there. Just genius.
I'm
Let's
sure,
track
I'm sure
everything.
they're hoping.
Yeah, no question.
Like
Yeah.
to me as like a tinkerer and someone who wants to become better at everything I do, especially around hunting stuff, it's like it makes sense to me. More
Yeah.
data, I can collect it, I can record it, I can write things down, I can see what's impacting what.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and the cool thing is it stores everything. I mean, and you can compare day over day. I mean, month over month. And I think once they incorporate the ability to, play games or a social aspect of that, like I think it would be so cool if, me, Lorenzo, Neville, you, whoever else, Cody.
A bunch of insiders.
Bunch of insiders.
We could have just a
Yeah,
Go
a
Hunt
league.
tournament. League.
Yeah, you're like, okay, Monday nights we're going to shoot a Vegas face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
you're
would
going
be
to track
awesome.
your score, and you could essentially shoot a league remotely, and I could see his data, he could see mine. I think it's the possibilities are so sick.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm pumped about it. I think it'll be really cool. So that's shot sense.
What does it weigh? Can I see it?
Not much.
I don't even think you weigh that. It's like
Not
what?
much. Less
Weighs
than an
like
ounce for
4
sure.
fletchings.
Yeah.
It literally is-
Yeah, it's
doesn't weigh
super,
anything.
super light. Yep,
Huh.
and those will you can get it. They've got the grip. You can see a shot sense with the little window, or you can do it with side plates, which has the built-in little window as well. Or like mine, you can just shove it under the wrap and use it.
You kept this under wrap pretty well.
Kept it
Trail.
under wrap, yeah, for a
Proud
long
of you.
time.
You're so good at keeping secrets. Did
Did you listen to the entire Suppressor podcast? Do you see
Yeah.
I kind of threw you under the bus a little bit?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I was like, Trail,
heard
like,
ya.
did you get me any photos to market the new Mathews lift? He's like, no,
No.
I was so nervous about leak.
Yeah.
Like someone seeing my photos. I didn't take a single photo of the lift.
I take it serious.
You did.
Yeah.
Even though we needed to talk about it. But
No,
hey.
I take it serious. The old non-disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overall, I guess we could wrap this up and just maybe give final thoughts. I guess I would say if you're looking at buy a new bow, go into a bow shop, shoot as many bows as you possibly can. Have them measure your draw length. Like I said, wingspan divided by 2.5 will get you close. What do I look for in a bow? I look for speed for one, because that matters to me in a hunting situation. As far as accuracy, I want a flat shooting bow, because if I misjudge yardage, like I may have done a time or two,
That'll pay off.
it matters. I look for a bow being quiet. Obviously, that makes
Obviously,
a difference.
that matters too.
That matters. A bow that's forgiving. I like a longer axle bow. Not everybody, but you want to definitely buy a bow that fits your hunting situation and your hunting style. Draw weight is worth considering. I love the fact that you can use the switch weights in this to get whatever draw weight you want. And I will say, Lorenzo's bow is an 80-pound bow. I've been a huge wuss when it comes to draw weight.
So easy.
Yeah, I drew his bow so easy. I could shoot 80 pounds in this bow.
I wish they made a 90-pound mod now.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I could shoot 80 pounds in this bow comfortably.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that would be the case.
One more thing, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you consider mass weight of a bow?
Oh.
That's a deciding factor. Do you like a light bow? Like does I'm talking bare bow, no accessories on it yet. Does that pay dividends to you? You look at a bow.
It does, because one, you have to carry the thing everywhere you go, right? So if I wanted to set this bow up, this bow is only 4.26 pounds bare bow versus I think the other phase 4 was maybe 4 to 5 ounces heavier. It does matter to me because one, if I'm going backpack hunting for mountain goats or elk and I want to lighten the bow up, I like the fact that it's less weight. But more importantly than that, I like the fact that I can add weight where I want it, which is like out away from the riser. Like if I could ditch 5 ounces here and I could add it out here, I would do that.
Because it's gonna be a better shot.
Because it's gonna aim and hold better. Yeah. So I do. I love the fact, and that was one thing. I know I met up with Neville at the trailhead and showed him the bow. He picked it up. That was the very first thing he said. He was like, damn, that thing's light.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot. That's what I should have said first. when I pulled it out of the box, I literally, he was filming and I pulled it out of the box. I'm like, holy shit, I don't even, like, I feel like I'm holding nothing compared to what I'm coming
lift.
from.
It's notably
it's crazy.
lighter.
It's so light.
Everybody I've talked to so far that shot one has all said the same thing. Man,
It
that
is
thing's
so
light.
light. When I picked it up with nothing on it out of the box, I'm like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I'm holding something.
Yeah, it's super, super light. And I do, like I said, my bow may end up weighing the same,
But in different spots.
but in different spots,
Yeah.
which to me
Which is what
matters.
you want.
I will say this one though, I've set up, I've got 3 ounces out front. I've got 5, I think, out the back with the extra little Mathews dampener things that go in them. So this bow is probably, I'll bet it's close to a half a pound lighter than my V3X fully set up, which matters when you're packing it around in the elk woods. And I don't feel like I'm giving up anything in accuracy. So,
Then you talk about hold, right? Like hold time and weight. That's a big difference.
Yep. So those are all things I would say are worth considering. I like the bridge lock technology where you've got the stabilizers
I love
mounted
that.
right within the riser. It's clean. You've got your sight that mounts directly in the riser, which is clean. Same with the rest. It's all dovetailed in. Last thing I guess I would say is I feel like across archery, not just Mathews, but across multiple manufacturers, I feel like this is the best year in a long time from a lot of companies. And I would say that as far as Mathews goes, this is the biggest jump they've made in a bow and in technology in probably maybe since, I'm trying to remember, a long time, probably 5 years, 6 years, I would say.
8 years.
8 years. Yeah. I mean, new cams, new limb technology, new position of the limbs, longer riser, lighter, all the addition of the bridge lock. So I would say, like, if you've been kind of holding off on getting a bow, I think this is a really strong year, regardless of whether you're looking at Hoyt, Mathews, any elite PSE. I think
That
this is
PSE,
an awesome year.
that new PSE, the look of that bow is pretty awesome.
There's a lot of nice bows on the market right now.
Now, I genuinely mean this. Like, I would still shoot this lift. Mathews to me, I'm brand loyal, and I shot Mathews before, shot Prime, then I shot Hoyt, then I shot Mathews. Even before we worked with Mathews, I was into Mathews, and I'm just loyal there. But looks wise, that like futuristic looking PSE is pretty badass. That thing's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool looking
The
bows.
full riser, no cutouts, no nothing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would hold in the wind, which is what I thought when I first,
It's
like
an
my first
interesting thought.
like con to it. Because when I first saw it, I was shooting with a guy in Canada that had it after my stone sheep hunt, and I'm like, damn, that thing looks cool. Like that was my first, and then the first con I thought was wind hold, and I don't know, it's just one big mass. It was an interesting thought.
I love the advancement in all things archery. I love the push. I like the fact that Hoyt this year went to 1/4 inch increment draw lengths and the ability to adjust your let off more precisely. Like, I think that's a sick ad for them. You know what I mean? Like, any kind of adjustment that you can make in the ability to tune the bow more easily. Like, for you. I think it's awesome. I like the top hat system here just because, like I said, it's stationary, but I love the fact that you can do that now versus some of the older bows. It's like you get what you get. You're not
move the rest.
You can try to shim your cams with some shims or something, but like you kind of get what you get. You move the rest, you make do, and sometimes your arrow's sticking out, 40 degrees to the left, shoots a bullet hole, but looks weird. But I just love the fact that everybody's kind of headed that direction as far as making it more your own.
I can't imagine how hard it is to every year to keep advancing, to keep working on things, to keep tinkering. Like,
I think this is is like. This is as technologically advanced as anything I ever thought I would see in a bow.
I'm really excited for that.
It'll be interesting to see where they take this and what the possibilities of it are. But I don't know. Pretty cool.
If you were to design a bow, sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent again. I have so many questions.
Ask them.
If you were designing a bow right now, okay, based on whatever, like what additions or what things have you thought of that would be potentially a benefit for you as a bow hunter first on a bow that you could think of that you would like to see, like your dream bow?
My dream bow would be like 35 inches axle, I think, hunting bow.
Yeah, like
Because
you said,
I like a longer bow. I just like the way it feels, shoots. Feet per second. This I'm shooting 296 with this bow with a 460 grain arrow. So speed is obviously worth
And you're at 70 pounds.
70
So
pounds.
that's
70
fast.
pounds, 80% let off. Yeah. Yeah, and we could talk speed, but it's as fast a bow as I've shot in a long time. 300 feet per second, I think is a nice speed where I can still tune it. I could probably tune fixed blade heads with it without too many issues, but it's phenomenal with mechanical. Those are kind of it for me. Speed and axle to axle.
Speed and axle, that'd be your dream.
And quiet. I like a quiet bow. Obviously, it saved my ass.
Yeah.
And then just balance and shoots and holds well. Accuracy I love. That's like, I've said it before, but it really is like one of my most simple pleasures. And I'm talking in life. Like one of the things I love more than anything is shooting a bow and arrow and just having the pin sit, shot break, watching the arrow the entire way and watching that arrow just like thud hit dead X. It's like the most satisfying feeling, and I can't explain it. And probably it's not the same for everybody, but for me, that's about as good as it gets. It's just so enjoyable.
Simple things in life.
That's it, man. Yeah, clears your
Repeatability.
head. Any other questions?
Yeah.
What else you got?
I'm going to say this, but I'm also going to say you definitely don't need to do this probably at all. No reason to. I do it with rifles. So I was going to ask you, when you get a brand new bow, do you take everything apart and put it back together? Because when I get a brand new rifle, I take everything apart, put it back together.
Like bolt,
everything,
barrel,
everything. I don't take the barrel off my guns. I've
bet it.
Yeah, the stock, but I take it apart, clean up oils where there probably shouldn't be oils from no factory. It's sitting around, and putting it back together, looking at all. Like, do you pull the limbs off? Do you do any of that?
Good old Brady J.
I've never had the limbs off of it. No, never pulled limbs out of the limb pocket on this one. Yeah, I would say on a needed basis. Okay. So like if I was having tuning issues, if I was getting some funky lefts or rights or something like that, and I felt like maybe I wanted to swap limbs diagonally or something like that, then maybe I would. But no, I would say the first thing I do is just check my cam timing and then start with my knock point and then just start tuning process from there. But no, I don't ever take it apart.
Sometimes I'm just like curious, like how'd they build this? So I take it all apart, look at all the machining, look at everything, like check it all out.
I've had bows apart. I would say typically on a lot of the bows that I've had, the first thing I did was change the strings out. This is a new string from them. They're calling match grade or match strings from Mathews. And I would say it's a big step in the right direction. They're older strings, the zebra strings, good materials, but I don't know what was going on in the actual manufacturing of those strings. And the string was relatively stable once I shot it in, but it felt like I always had serving separation, especially where the draw stop rolled over into the cable. This bow's got way more. It's got more than 1,000 shots guaranteed through it. I don't have any separation through my servings at all. My peak comes back straight. I haven't noticed any stretch or creep or anything like that. No difference in, cams moving or anything like that. So I would just from 2-3 months of shooting a lot of arrows through it, I would say it's a big step in the right direction for strings. So
do you want to know one other psycho thing? You guys are going to make fun of me when I talk about all this shit.
We always do. But keep going.
So when I had, shooting bows back in the day, like I was a psycho bow hunter, shot targets, shot tournaments, everything. I used to take, like I was talking about tearing apart a bow, like I used to tear apart my bow completely, take it all down, take all the limbs off. And then I would swap all the hardware to titanium. I just wanted higher grade screws, higher grade washers.
Your limb bolts?
Limb bolts, swap them all. Swap everything to titanium. Everything I could, swap it over to titanium, higher grade. I can't really explain the reasoning, besides for I just thought
look
in
good,
my
feel
head,
good, play good.
Yeah, like I'll be shooting better.
I
Just
tell
swapping
you what,
everything.
maybe I've still got the Phase 4. Maybe I'll pull it all apart and swap it with titanium everything just to see.
It's like
If it
it's not,
makes a
not because
difference.
obviously not gonna be a lot of weight savings, but I was like, well, it's gonna be higher grade material. It's gonna be maybe try to Loctite things where I need a Loctite thing. Make sure things don't move. Just double, triple check everything.
Nope. I'm not down that hole. Not
Maybe it's because I
doing
don't have kids.
it. Yeah.
I have a lot of time.
Yeah, I've never done that. Just as needed, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But never,
That's why I said you definitely don't need to do any of this by any means.
I've had some bows over the years that I had to swap limbs, diagonally or do something with it to get it to tune, and I've monkeyed around with that. But if I don't have to, I don't want to do that.
That's how I feel. If I don't have to, I don't want to.
Uh-huh.
I also had my brother back in the day weld me up a custom overdraw bracket.
Yeah.
So it's like I need this for my bows because
Yeah.
I want to cut arrows down a little bit shorter. So I had him. I gave him precision specs. I drew out this little drawing. I'm like, Bryce, can you make this for me back in Minnesota? He's like, yeah, that'll take me like 30 minutes. So I gave him this little spec sheet. Gave him some like little rough things I cut out like in cardboard. Like make this exactly like this to these exact specs. Put these holes in here. Thread them at these thread pitch, and gave it back to me. And it was phenomenal. Like just make
That's
like
actually
cool
pretty cool.
custom accessories for it.
The old-
I shot my moose, my mountain goat with my bow back in the day. All
Everybody
that was
used to
all
shoot an
done.
overdraw.
Yeah, no one does anymore. But
Yeah. Tam still does.
oh my man, old Gillingham, love that guy.
There's a lot of people, that used to though.
But yeah, that's what I love. I'm talking about now. I love shooting bows. 'Cause I love that tinkering
Yeah.
aspect. There's so much fun things you can do. It's like a lot of it's probably not necessary. Can I shoot well enough to
See the
justify any of that? Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But my head, I'm getting a little bit better, and I'm learning more about how the bow works, how the tune works.
I spend most of my time tinkering, I would say, in aim. Like
In aim?
how well does the bow aim?
Do you put lasers on anything in practicing with
I've-
lasers,
I've
like a laser
not
pointer?
I've not done that. I just mostly track it by score.
Yeah.
Like how well does the bow seem to aim? Does it feel super solid? And, is the arrow hitting X when it feels like it breaks when it's, the pin's on it?
Mhm.
I spend a lot of my time with like draw length and D-loop length and tune, I would say, are like the three things I end up tinkering with the most.
Did you write down notes of everything
do.
you're doing for the bow? Do you have
I-
like a notebook? This is Mathews LIFT. This is how I tinkered it. This is
I
what
do.
I twist.
Yep, sitting there on my bow press. And then if I'm at the archery range and I make any kind of changes, I'll just make it in a field notebook. And then I always try to keep track of that because I'm getting older and I forget shit. So if something the wheels start to fall off, I want to go back and look like what did I do exactly. So yeah, I do have a notebook and kind of track it, but it's fun. That's what's fun about it. I know Lorenzo's having,
Oh, I'm having a blast.
yeah.
I just wish it was easier to shoot ranges here. That's
Yeah.
it's like driving me nuts that it's so hard to shoot a range here.
You got to get a range at home
At the GOHUNT office.
at the GOHUNT office.
Come on.
So yeah, that's all I'll say to that. Yeah.
Quickly, Renzo, what do you think so obviously you built your own home bow setup.
Bow
Okay.
shop.
Yeah.
What were the couple pieces of gear that you thought were the most essential for doing what you're doing? Like basically you're like super tuning everything. So what do you think your top three are?
I mean, the press and the draw board for sure.
Because you can do so much with both of those two
so
things.
so much with both of those. Like 90% of everything with those two, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the digital caliper has been huge for me.
Yeah.
Just to micro tune stuff and see where I'm at and what I'm doing. Then what's a third? What's the next most essential?
Anything on arrow building?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
That's a whole
jig.
other rabbit hole. I mean, arrow building.
saw and squaring tool, all that stuff, which is that 101? Is that not 101? Is that
101.
Yeah. So that squaring and all that. So I can start messing with these arrows. And then I broke down and bought the Fletchmaster Pro from Last Chance.
Mm-hmm.
The Bitzenberger's good. It's great. But there's just a little bit of, for me, cause I'm not overly detail driven like you are. I'm a little more lackadaisical about things, and I like to do things out of enjoyment than torture myself with absolute precise. And there's just a little too much that I could mess up with that Bitzenberger jig. And all the arrows I've done so much is with that. But I broke down and got the Fletchmaster Pro. Love.
I know a new one I'm going
Love
to
it.
buy. Have you guys seen this? Hamsky's making this little arrow level. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but the cool thing about it is you can put it on your arrow and it's got a measurement. So it'll give you like, it's one of the measurements have always been like, it's kind of hard to measure is your distance from riser. So center of arrow distance to the riser. Yeah. 13/16.
From Mathews.
You're like kind of eyeballing it, right?
I do that with the digital caliper,
Sure.
which has been great.
Yeah. Been great. This one's, you can set it at 13/16.
Exactly.
Yeah. On your arrow. Yeah. On your rest. And you can measure that. It'll also help you level your arrow as you're setting up your arrow level and
Send
tying
me
in your
that
knock
one.
points.
I'll buy it.
Yeah. We have them in the shop.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm buying them for sure.
I'm so out of our archery.
Here
now
we
since-
go.
Since I retired from archery, I can't remember if this is still a thing. Maybe even selling the gear shop. I don't know. But do you have the? So when I had my Bitzenberger, I had 3 of them set up for every single arrow, and so I didn't have to change anything. Everything was adjusted perfectly. But then I had the Zenith archery upgrades for all of them. Do they still make those?
Yep. We sell those.
Oh, good deal. So you I haven't even looked.
Yeah.
But I thought those were a big upgrade on the Bitzenberger. So you have a Bitzenberger, look at the Zenith archery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
it goes
Where's
in-
that
arrow.
little tip been?
And then,
It's a knock.
Where's that one been, Brady?
well,
You've given me so many
I
other
have
ones.
to give you them slowly.
Yeah, arrow receiver essentially make sure that there's no play in your arrow rather than using your knock. Yeah, this is the Hamsky Archery Waypoint Arrow level.
Huh.
So you can set that on.
Oh,
So what's cool
goodness.
about this is you can screw this thing against the riser and adjust your height of your arrow, and then also the distance of your arrow from the shelf, and with the level.
That's awesome.
It's pretty sick. $71.
Let's go grab one after this.
Yeah.
I want to see how that
for
works.
sure.
Yeah, one of those. I'm going to buy one of those before I go home today.
Perfect.
You both are buying them. It sounds like.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Anyway, pretty
And
cool.
what's these Zenith things you're talking about? What is this?
Oh,
It's basically for the knock on the back, and then it also has an adjustment on the front of the Bitzenberger, so you can like lift it up and play the left or right, so it actually centers it perfectly. There's a knock
it's
one.
a
In.
Bitzenberger upgrade kit.
Do you
So
sell the front one? The one that actually you drill the holes
Yeah.
on the front as well.
Yep. So this one essentially just goes in the back of your Bitzenberger jig, and then you can slide the arrow on the back end of it, so there's no play in it. So you're not using the knock; you're actually sliding that
I
like
like
a
it.
sleeve in the back.
Yeah,
of
because that knock has play.
That's-
It
that's-
rotates side to side.
And
a
that's
little
what I'm
bit.
talking about with like, there's just a little too much room for error for somebody like myself on that one.
Yeah.
So that's why I just went
with your knock, there is. Yeah, this one there
Yeah.
not so much, which
Yeah.
is
Well, I
would-
just went Fletchmaster Pro.
Yeah, I always tell people if you're buying a Bitzenberger, you should definitely buy a Zenith archery upgrade kit for it.
Yeah.
Just makes it that much more secure. Yeah, pliers. And what else? You definitely have to have some pliers.
Yeah, definitely needle nose,
Needle
D-loop
nose pliers, and then just your Allen wrench sets. Cool thing is that like Last Chance Archery sells all these kits. Like
Yeah.
they sell all this stuff that you probably don't think you need, but you can buy the whole kit. I think it's like $100. And you'll get like all the stuff that you probably don't think you need, but
Yeah.
it'll come in handy. And it's like right now, I think, a Easy Press Green, Last Chance, I think it's like $3.99, $3.79, something like that. So you can get a press, a saw, a jig, basic tools. I think a draw, one of these guys,
draw scale.
draw scale is handy to have. It's going to give your holding weight and your max weight. That's handy for setting your bow back to spec.
What brand's that one?
Last Chance. Yeah.
I saw that old Easton one.
But I would say you could probably get all set up for your own archery shop for what, $800, $900, $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say
So
for sure.
It's not that crazy of an investment. And I've been using the same press for a long time and same saw for ages.
Mine's free. I've just been using Brady's.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I found a couple tool trays last night that I have. That because I have that big.
Yeah.
It's basically that Ryobi miter saw stand that the press goes on. I actually have some tool trays that are supposed to go on the back.
That's
They're
fantastic.
flats. They're little like cooking.
Go ahead and bring
things.
those in for me.
Yeah, so they attach right there, so you can put more of your tools and your
Love it.
D-loop and all that stuff on there.
Hell
and I
yeah.
have that one on the back of the
Yeah.
press, but this one opens up to bigger stuff.
More trays.
Yeah, so I got to bring those other trays in for you.
Hell yes.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. I would say if you have any interest in it at all, I've had people ask me like, oh, when do you think I should invest in my own archery equipment? I'm like, well, how long do you think you're going to be bow hunting? And if the answer is like, I don't ever see me stopping, like you should invest.
Sooner rather than later.
Sooner than
would be
later.
my answer.
Learn
I
to
wish
do
I
it.
did this a long time
And look how
ago.
much gas money you're saving. So that was the biggest reason why I started becoming my own,
Mm-hmm.
building out my own bows, because I had to drive to a pro shop, which when I lived in Montana, that was a long ways away.
Yeah.
So think of that investment, that time. You can learn everything. You'll be more proficient with it if you just start buying things slowly. Like maybe every year you add a new piece to it.
Mm-hmm. There's some great pro shops. Nothing against pro shops. I think you should still, utilize your pro shops. But if you have the means, the interest, and the ability to get your own equipment and a space to do it,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything more satisfying.
Agreed. It's very satisfying.
Anything else? Any other thoughts about the new bows? Any questions we missed? I guess if I was to wrap it up in a bow, my review of the Lift, I've had tons of DMs. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. I think it's the best advancement they've had in ages. It's faster.
Quieter.
It's as quiet or quieter. It's lighter. It holds better. It aims better. I mean, what else?
Yeah.
What else do you need? Right? In my opinion, it's the best bow they've had in ages. It's the most excited I've been about a hunting bow in a long time.
If Trail says that,
It was enough for me to switch from the Halon.
yeah,
There.
I take that.
There you go.
That's
Wrong
what,
with
when
it.
Trail told me that, I'm like, yep, that's enough.
There's your take home.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, appreciate it.
Good podcast. I love all those tech little details.
Yeah, I always have to end these when I have to pee, and we're at time.
We're there.
All right, yeah.
See ya.